Oh, fuck. I was about to start, but I realized I didn't do the thing on my hair. I didn't do the spray thing on my hair. That's critical. One moment. Okay, I did it. Yo! Okay, I'm blurrier than usual. I really gotta fix that. Nope. There we go. That's a little bit better. You know, by far the weirdest part of using hairspray, something to which I am not normally accustomed, is that some of the spray will like settle down to my arm hair after, and for a brief moment I'll feel like my arm hair is like stiff, you know? It's very weird, very strange that. How's everyone doing? What's up? Oh my god! Why is YouTube so far ahead? You mean, why did I start streaming early? Well, it's because I ran out of stuff to do, to be honest with you. It seems Bobert's have 700-ish votes with 98% reporting, but Colorado's waiting on military votes to arrive. Yeah, I'm going to end up being a Republican. Why does it take so long to count the fucking votes? Oh my god. Insane. This standoff. Unbelievable. Yeah, Bobert's currently leading by about 1,200 votes. She might actually end up winning. Ah, that'd be a bit of a shame. We'll see if the military votes haven't arrived. We'll see. Sorry for being a shitlib yesterday. Forgot we're in the punch lefty right now. I'm not punching left. I'm just trying to keep everyone. Well prepared. Howdy, howdy. What military skew red? Not actually. No. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Please look at Trump actually admitting this. Homework already, Merrick. Oh, we'll look. We'll look. We'll look. Don't worry. That's on the docket. Mm. Mm-mm-mm. Guys, 538's last update on Boebert. Boobert. Yes. Tragic. Anyway, how is everyone doing? Did you guys know that we have politics to look at? Did you guys know? You know, Merrick kicked it off, and I can't deny that's what I want to talk about first too. Trump, my man, the most stable genius in America, has been killing it lately on Truth Social. I'm not doing the voice for this whole thing. Now that midterms are over, and a success, News Corp, which is Fox, the Wall Street Journal, and the no longer great New York Post, is all in for Governor Ron DeSanctimonious, an average Republican governor with great public relations who didn't have to close up his state but did, unlike other Republican governors whose overall numbers for Republican were just average, middle of the pack, including COVID, and who has the advantage of sunshine because there's sun in Florida, where people from badly run states up north would go no matter who the governor was, just like I did. Ron came to me in desperate shape in 2017. He was politically dead. Do the voice? He was politically dead, losing in a landslide to a very good agriculture commissioner, Adam Putnam, who was loaded up with cash and great pull numbers. Ron had low approval, bad pulls, and no money. But he said that if I would endorse him, he could win. I didn't know Adam, so I said, let's give it a shot, Ron. And I can't. It's too much. When I endorsed him, it was as though, to use a bad term, a nuclear weapon went off. Years later, they were the exact words Adam Putnam used in describing Ron's endorsement. He said, I went from having it made with no competition to immediately getting absolutely clobbered after your endorsement. Then I got Ron by the star of the Democrat Party, Andrew Gillum, who was later revealed to be a crackhead. I know this is like half incoherent, but I swear to God I'll synthesize this soon. By having two massive rallies with tens of thousands at each one, I also fixed his campaign, which had completely fallen apart. I was all in for Ron, and he beat Gillum. But after the race, when the votes were being stolen by the corrupt election process in Broward County, and Ron was going down tens of thousands of votes a day, along with now Senator Rick Scott, I sent in the FBI and the U.S. attorneys, and the ballot theft immediately ended just prior to them running out of the votes necessary to win. I stopped his election from being stolen. In this, Trump seems to be indicating that he used his power as the president to fix a win for the governor. So that's something, you know? Okay. And now Ron DeSanctimonious is playing games. The fake news asks him if he's going to run if President Trump runs, and he says, I'm only focused on the governor's race, not looking into the future. Well, in terms of loyalty and class, that's really not the right answer. This is just like 2015 and 2016 immediate assault collusion when Fox News bought me to the end until I won, and then they couldn't have been nicer or more supportive. The Wall Street Journal loved low-energy Jeb Bush, and a succession of other people as they rapidly disappeared from sight were finally falling in line with me after I easily knocked them out one by one. We're in exactly the same position now. They will keep coming after us, MAGA, but ultimately we will win. Put America first and make America great again. Okay. So we have a truly, truly wacky. I'm jebbing very hard right now. Yeah, we have some wacky behavior here. I've talked about this a little, but I really want to expand on it because this is as good an opportunity as any to really dig into this problem here. Okay, so look, when fascists are trying to take over a government, as they love to do. You know, that's their favorite thing. I like Pez and video games. Autistic people love trains. Fascists love destroying democracies. And the process of achieving that goal, you know, involves, on a very basic level, it involves gaining popularity and then taking advantage of existing popularity to bring the hammer down. Donald Trump was the guy to energize the Republican Party. They needed somebody like him. They needed somebody to really cut through the phony suit and tie bullshit and just openly, directly, unambiguously represent every reactionary impulse that guides fascist decision making. You know, they needed they needed someone fronting that right up there. The problem is people who are good at energizing and people who are good at, you know, well-coordinated, disciplined efforts to deconstruct a democracy, these two are not always the same people. Take a look at Mitch McConnell. Mitch McConnell is perhaps more than anyone else currently in office responsible for the weakening of our democratic institutions. But nobody in the world is going to go out to a rally and lose their mind or go and martyr themselves as a right-wing militiaman over Mitch McConnell. Nobody in the world. This guy has done more to undermine our democracy than almost any other, ever. But he could never do a Jan 6. He could never organize a Charlottesville. He just does not have that skill set. You know? So right here we find the contradiction. We find the antagonism. Ron DeSantis is the best pick for the Republican Party in their continued effort to undermine our democracy. He's smarter than Trump. He has more discipline than Trump. He's more controllable than Trump. It's just the better pick. Donald Trump, however, was successful in energizing the party. And for that reason, my man Trump is not going down without a fight. I mean, he's got so much backing in the Republican constituency, and he's too much of an egotist to ever give this up. So he's going to, I mean, there's going to be damage. Yeah, the Republican Party doesn't want Trump anymore, but Trump just wants applause. This is a very delicate situation for the Republican strategists. I'm telling you, I know this. From the bottom of my heart, I know this, okay? Right now, Republican strategists are quietly praying he dies in his sleep before it gets any worse. That's what they want. They do not want a primary, a 2024 primary between DeSantis and Trump. They don't want it because DeSantis can't go that hard against Trump because Trump is beloved by his party. Donald Trump will go as hard as he wants to against DeSantis because he doesn't care about anything or anybody besides himself. I don't even think Donald Trump cares that much about fascism. I don't think he could define it. I don't think he knows what it is. I think that Donald Trump is just sort of latently reactionary and extremely narcissistic. And just the best way as a narcissist who is reactionary to get attention is just to, whatever, feed into the loop. I think he likes his tendies. I think he likes his chicken nuggies. I think that's what gets him up out of bed. And hey, same, man, but I'm not a former president. Ron DeSantis does not care for nuggies, okay? He cares for genocide, white ethno-states. So, God, this is really bad for them, Donald Trump saying that DeSantis lacks loyalty and class. Donald Trump saying, like, you're nothing without me, all that sort of stuff. We'll see how this plays out, but I think the primary Republican project of the next couple of years is going to be them making an effort to drag their constituency away from Trump and towards DeSantis. And that is probably going to involve, hilariously enough, Republicans suddenly starting to care about Trump shit in ways they haven't before. I anticipate an uptick in Republicans suddenly, seriously, discussing his relationship with Epstein, his infidelity, the terrible relationships that he has with his family, his weakness as a candidate, all the corruption and so on. Republicans are going to start, I'm telling you, it's going to happen. He's going to slowly get weaned in on by the GOP establishment because they're going to try to drag their constituency away. I don't think it's going to work that well, to be honest with you, for two reasons. First of all, Dyer Fox brings up a good point. A strong, not majority, but a strong portion of the Republican Party is like QAnon nutters, okay? These people will die before they stop supporting Trump. These are ideologically Trumpist, They don't just like Trump, they're in. Those people, I don't think, are going to just move over when the GOP tells them. I do not anticipate that. It's too much of a cult. These cults are dangerous. It's risky. Cultivating that kind of behavior. That's one. And two, no matter how hard the Republican establishment guns for it, I don't think you can get a lot of Republicans to care about the bad things that Trump has done because I just don't think they care about bad people. If they did, why would they be Republican? Poll right now is blaming DeSantis and claiming he's in on the conspiracy. It's going to be really, really difficult preserving Trump's constituency in the GOP and moving it over to DeSantis. In fact, I'm willing to commit to this even more. I'm willing to say, I actually think that I can't believe I'm saying this, but I sincerely mean this. Right now, insofar as he represents an obstacle to GOP solidarity, I legitimately think Trump is the biggest obstacle to American fascism. I actually believe that. It's not Biden. It's not the Democratic Party. It's Trump's ability to sink the ship that he's on. I mean that. Trump is on the wrong ship. He wants to be on the wrong ship. Trump's on SS fascism over there, but he's got a bomb vest. Okay? My man over here, it's not a matter of agreeing with him or anything like that. I'm just saying he's over there, and like the responsible bikers of Los Angeles streets, he has strapped propane tanks to his to his person. If a car hits them, it's both their problems now. We'll see. I mean, I can only hope, right? If nothing else, it'll be very funny. It'll be great content. Why don't they accept DeSantis as VP? Because they can't have Trump involved anymore. Trump is too corrupt and unstable. He's not smart enough to fully facilitate the death of our democracy. You know what I mean? We don't. The society that we live in is stable enough that the Republican Party can't just like do a military coup. You know, it has to be this protracted, like months or years long, siphoning away from our democratic institutions, followed by really well coordinated efforts to replace people in key positions. Trump is not committed enough to that process. uh he would probably blow the whole thing up. I mean, he might still. Why not have DeSantis as VP? No, that's what I'm saying. If Trump is in charge, like, that is a degree of instability they don't want to contend with, you know? It's a risk. It's a big risk. And he's got a huge ego. Yeah, that's true, you know? Not to mention, look what happened to the last vice president under Trump, right? You know, it's you know, Carrie Lake is siding with Trump on Crowder. You guys need to keep an eye out for this, all right? This is going to be one of the big kicks right here. This is the big line. This is where it's going to happen, folks. I'm telling you right now. We need to be watching this shit like a hawk. And hey, you know what? I'm not ashamed to say it. Critical support to Trump in his narcissistic rampage across the breadth of like GOP electability, you know? I'm hoping more people side with Trump than with DeSantis, because the establishment will be pushing DeSantis. The more people independently pushing for Trump, the greater a resistance they're going to find in that. God, here.
What I think they're doing is slow rolling our victory. They want to take the air out of this movement, and they can't do it because it's a movement, and we, the people, are fed up, and we're not going to slow down. We're not going to let them take the fire out of our belly. And so they slow roll the results. You know, Ron DeSantis goes out, gives his big speech, and then they want to make it look like the Trump Republicans don't have a chance. We do. We're going to win. I'm 100% sure of that. I think that Blake may even win with the look of what is left to be counted.
Listen to that language. The Trump Republicans. Carrie Lake here is using language that indicates that she sees the Trump-picked candidates as a distinct group within the GOP. That's really good for us. See, the ability for the Republican Party to fall behind Donald Trump in 2016 was one of their greatest strengths. But it might now, like, we might be getting the kickback from that, you know? Their sort of immediate strongman, like, fall in line instinct, you know, the innate submissiveness of the fascist might end up playing against them here. We'll be paying as much attention to that as is reasonably possible in the coming years. You know, what, 2 years, however much time we get, you know, because it is critically important. Do you think Biden should run in 2024? I don't know. The Democrats don't have any good lineups for 2024. I hate Kamala Harris. Biden is literally a lich commanding a skin puppet from a sepulcher, okay? He's ancient. You know, are there other people? Maybe. I don't know. But, like, we will need an energetic candidate. God, I hope. God, I hope. What about Gavin Newsom? I don't like Gavin Newsom. I don't like any of these. Don't worry about it. Don't worry. Don't worry about it. Listen, just do Barack Obama. I don't care. Third term, whatever. The Constitution doesn't matter anymore. Just do Gavin. Yeah, because it's California. It's homophobia. Come on. Just do Obama. I don't know. Whatever. Constitution. Who cares? Why not Nina Turner? Really? Couple of reasons why not Nina Turner. Gabe Newell? Yeah, Gabe Newell. Why not? Trump would 100% run third party. If Trump did end up like running third party after like getting ousted from the Republican primary, that would be like the best. I would watch me turn heel on my principles in a nanosecond. You want me to be pro ranked choice voting? Nope. I'm pro post 2024 ranked choice voting. I am extremely pro first past the post voting in that particular election right there. Absolutely. 100%. God, that would be funny. Oh my God. Oh, he'd split it right down the middle. Like a goddamn credit card. Why do your presidents have to be so old, Vosh? They don't have to be that old. It's just power tends to consolidate over time. I thought you liked Nina. Yeah, that doesn't mean she's presidential material. Are you kidding? There's no way in hell Nina Turner could possibly, like, get enough of the Democratic Party behind her. What the fuck? Why not Turner? Okay, quick reminder to the fucking troglodytes in chat, okay? How much you like someone and how good of a presidential candidate they would make are not exactly the same question, okay? Come on, think for a second. Really think. Yet Nina Turner's been like borderline anti-democratic party, like not third party posting explicitly, I don't think, but like, yeah, no, come on. Will I run for Department of Health and Safety? Yeah, sure. It's my life dream, basically. What about Kanye? Yeah, Kanye could be a good Democratic lead. That's my final answer. I wonder if DeSantis will ultimately take VP. No, 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 no. Black Poppy. And this is my highest guarantee. Trump and DeSantis can't run on the same ticket. It is not possible. It is not possible. It cannot happen. Which is great. Because that means there's gonna it means they gotta fight. Oh God. I mean, I'm glad because why can't they? Because Donald Trump is too self-centered and too much of an egotist. The Republican establishment wants to give credit to what Ron DeSantis has done because they see him as more stable and easier to control than Trump, which means that the establishment would be making an effort to prioritize celebrating anything DeSantis did over Trump. They wouldn't like the fact that Trump won, that he was so unstable, so combative, so argumentative, and that would read not only in the way DeSantis is treated, but in the way the media behaves broadly. That would foster discontent between Trump and DeSantis. Donald Trump backed a group of rioters who were threatening to hang his last VP, and Pence was a bitch up until the end. What do you think Trump is going to do with a vice president who he feels the media is openly picking over him? You fucking kidding me? They'd be at each other's throats day one. They would. Donald Trump would physically be throwing like pendy plates at him. No way. No way. No way in hell. It's fascinating how they used Trump and discarded him in the end. Well, yeah, I mean, Trump was never smart enough to be like an operative. You know what I mean? Some people, there are people who rise. This is kind of like the ultimate fate of most populists. You know, populists can be good as rising stars, but populists tend to grind against existing institutional power, and like institutional power in the GOP goes back a long way and is backed by a lot of money, far more so than Trump has. So he might rep them, he might be their spokesman, their face, but the actual body is beyond his control. It would have been exactly the same with Bernie Sanders, though probably to a somewhat lesser extent in some ways and to a greater extent in others. So there would be some variance there. There's always nuance to how this stuff plays out. But Trump isn't aware of that? No, Trump is not aware of that. I don't think Trump is smart enough to understand that. I feel like personally, Trump probably thinks that he's like the guy in control. You know what I mean? Like Trump has probably been under the impression, like, oh yeah, I'm the president, or I was the president, and I was like the main guy. The people come out to see me at the rallies. I'm in control. But it's not necessarily true. That's why Adolf Hitler had his Night of the Long Knives. Ultimately, that's how the rising populist consolidates power to oust the institutional power holders, right? During the Night of the Long Knives, Hitler and his operatives killed a ton of like possible competing, forces within the government. And that was how the rising populist Adolf dealt with institutional power under his government. He killed them all. So we'll see if Trump pulls that one off, but I doubt it. Bosh, it's cute how you comprehend how much you personally like a candidate is meaningless, then you shit all over Gavin Newsom. Yes, fully agree. All right, moving on. Cut the segment. Editors, leave that one in. Leave that last one in. Huh? Oh, I'll check when I check. So it's probably fine. How do you see Dems versus Republicans in terms of foreign policy and their relation to institutions like the UN? Republicans are more isolationist because most of our allies abroad are liberal democracies, which Republicans don't like. So Republicans would just like pal around with people like Putin and I don't know, Bolsonaro. I mean, the Saudis. Yeah, like they would pal around with other autocrats for the most part. Or yeah, Orban, Viktor Orban. Yeah, that's a given. Yeah, they literally had their last like fucking child prostitute party over at Orban's place. The beautiful Saudis. Yeah, probably delicious booger. Oh, for sure, Chase R. Lewis. Though I think they would go farther than that if they could. Pigeon, do you want to star in today's stream? Do you want to be a guest? Ooh, ooh, she's zip. Look at that. Look at her do a little hop. Look at that. She likes watching Lizard from on top of the tank. Also, when the stream's not on, these two lights are on. I only have them off when I'm streaming. And she likes being near the heat lamp because it's warm. Does she get cold? Yeah, she's a hairless cat. But we have tons of spots set up around the house to warm her. She'll yelp or indicate to us if she wants to be put under a blanket. She has sweaters, like 50 of them piled over there. There are heat lamps on when I'm not streaming. There's a heater on downstairs. There's tons of places she can go if she wants to warm up, She's zipping. She do be zipping. Yeah, my PC is a heating pad. Yeah. I have cushions on top of my PC right now to the detriment of my heat dissipation because she loves sitting on top of the computer and just absorbing the warmth. And there is plenty of warmth. Trump lost his Ben Garrison support. Well, Ben Garrison draws on commission. He'll say anything. However, this is funny. I do like how Ben Garrison has traditionally drawn Trump as very muscular, but now that DeSantis has the lightning bolts of popularity, now he's quite muscular, you see. And now Donald Trump is very physically unimpressive in the background, though still far skinnier than he is in real life. Yeah, femboy Trump over there. Oh my god, he's so lithe. So smooth. The SS lightning bolts of popularity? Yeah, well, that is what they're fighting over, right? Those bolts are a Nazi dog whistle. I mean, they might be. I don't think Ben Garrison is a Nazi. Nah, I don't think Ben Garrison's a Nazi. I think that Ben Garrison is just like this guy. This guy was voting Reagan before Reagan even existed. I don't know. I just think he's retarded. Yeah. Oh yeah, like stealing the thunder. Oh yeah, that's the reference. He's stealing the thunder, but this is lightning. That doesn't. Okay. Oh, it says that right down there at the bottom. I'm so stupid. DeSantis steals Trump's thunderbolts. I was looking at femboy Trump and beefy twunk DeSantis. You can't visualize stealing thunder? Well, then maybe go for a different goddamn metaphor. How do you draw thunder? You kind of have to draw lightning. Yeah, well then go for a different metaphor. Don't use a metaphor that involves a material that is literally invisible. Thunder. Okay, whatever. Stealing the spotlight? Yeah, stealing the spotlight. Like DeSantis could have had like ropes around studio lights that he would have pulled towards him away from Trump, and he'd be like bathed in light, and Donald Trump would be fuming and confused in the dark. Whatever. You should know Garrison labels everything. Yeah, okay, yeah. That'd be more visually interesting, but lightning implies thunder. Shut up. Also, you don't really hear thunder if you're right next to lightning. Like, the noise everyone associates with thunder is when you're away from lightning. If you're right next to lightning, you just hear a loud crack. which isn't, I don't really, that doesn't feel like thunder, really. That's just like the crack. Thunder is like a rumbling, but that's because it's in the distance, you know? Um, it definitely resonates. Oh, for sure, yeah. You feel it though? Yeah. But I wouldn't call that like, okay, if you guys were like, "Hey, what does thunder sound like?" You would hear like like that. But if you're right next to where it strikes, it's like a resonant crack. The thunder rumbling noise is because it's miles away. The mic didn't pick it up. Okay, whatever. So okay. All right, whatever. I have a good mic gate. Okay. What if we talked about politics? What if we did that? Haha. What if we talked politics? Haha. Wow. Wow. Give me one moment. Let me get these links. Wow, that would be crazy. My likes on Twitter have been split pretty well lately between like Chainsaw Man and also the death of democracy. So that's cool. I'm cool with that like juxtaposition. Why do I like so much shit on why do I spend any time on Twitter? I'm so stupid. I should stop doing that. Why do I choose to do that? You should never be on Twitter. I make money from Twitter because people follow me there and therefore they see my streams and so on. I downstream I make money from Twitter. And I shouldn't be on Twitter. You shouldn't be on Twitter. Do you guys make money? No, you don't. Not from Twitter. So you definitely shouldn't be on there. Stop. Okay? Hold on. There's one specific link that I'm looking for. It has to do with it has to do with people being dumb and gay, which is kind of a running theme on my streams. Why I normally like stuff thinking like, "Oh, I'll come back to this on stream because it's in my likes now, so I can just look at it." I always delude myself into thinking, "Oh yeah, I'll get these all up before I start stream." But I never do. Did I not like these? Did I not even use bookmarks? Bookmarks. What fucking bookmarks? Bookmarks. 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 Jesus Christ. Bookmarks. God. Here we go. Okay, found it. Thank you. Hey, first of all, I want everyone to pour one out to Gregory Hardin II. You may have remembered that I talked to him a couple of times, and he's also been active on Twitter and in my subreddit. He was not able to win his race, but that's okay because he has a warrior's heart. While the results of the election last night were not what we needed, I'm still extremely proud of the work that I and all my supporters put into the campaign. The 3,367 people who voted for me. State of Oklahoma. My favorite part about running to be state representative of House District 26 was getting to meet new people, hearing their concerns, and with that, I also learned more about the history of Shawnee and Potawatomi County. That is something I'll always cherish regardless of the disappointing outcome of this race. I'm also proud of the fact that I'm the first black person to be the Democratic nominee for the Oklahoma State House District 26. Hell yeah. And he's only 24, you know? So much time. So much time. So much stuff to do. Yeah, it is a great learning experience. Absolutely. Anyway, we honor our warriors. Thank you. I think the House district that he's in is quite small. Here, Oklahoma House, no, State House District 26. What are the 7,000 to 3,367? Gotcha. I think that's dope. Isn't this normally like a red area? I mean, you can kind of tell that it's a red area because of how it just where it is, right? It's in Oklahoma, and the county itself is shaped like Oklahoma. It's double Oklahoma. Like this county is literally Oklahoma squared, you know? We're not exactly talking a progressive stronghold here. Did you see this? Not only did I see this, we actually talked about it just a little bit ago. The problem is I don't know what to say about it because Donald Trump lies constantly and exaggerates to make himself sound cooler. So he could be admitting to a crime here, or he could just be saying stuff. People might do some investigation following this, and I'm very interested to see what comes of it. But in the meantime, like, you know what I mean? It's like trying to get a criminal confession from a parrot, you know, like to see if the owner did the murders, and you're listening to the parrot, and you're like, so they do it, and the parrot's like, "What? Kill?" And you're like, okay, is that? Can I arrest off that? Probably not. One mask. Who do you think is more dangerous, Ron DeSantis or Trump? Ron DeSantis and Trump are both two separate dudes who represent two parts in the two-part end democracy plan. Um, Ron DeSantis will be more dangerous than Trump from this point forward. As of 2 days ago, Ron DeSantis is now the more dangerous man, and Donald Trump is perhaps the dark horse underdog hero of this story. His narcissism might end up serving us in the long run. You know, we'll see. We'll see if Donnie Trump declares a jihad on DeSantis and takes them both out. We'll see. Yeah, Trump the anti-hero, exactly. Yeah, Trump is like Doom Guy in the sense that like he's Doom Guy isn't really doing anything for good reasons. We're just all kind of lucky that Doom Guy likes killing demons and not humans. And that's it, right? Like at the end of the day, like we just have to we're really just sort of cautiously guiding a cruise missile in the right direction, hopefully. I hope so, Tempest. Doom Guy's creator was recently exposed being a piece of shit to his worker. By Doom Guy's creator, do you mean one of the original, like, id Software guys from 30 years ago? The original Doom? Or what's Doom Guy's creator? I don't even... I mean, id Software? I'm sure there are plenty of cunts who work at... John Romero? I already knew John Romero was an asshole. No, the current lead of id Software. Okay. That sucks. Mick Gordon came out with a statement. How about we look at that in a little bit? In the meantime, how about we look at something else? Guys, you know how Elon Musk has spent years now cultivating a reputation as an eccentric genius, which is actually really easy to do when you're a billionaire born into wealth and you can pay engineers to do all the actual work? Primarily, Elon Musk is a financier and a venture capitalist. It's been his selective investment that's led to the massive accrual of wealth. The guy's not an engineer, but he gets a rep as an engineer because he self-styles as one. And that, again, that's something you can pull off when you like own Tesla and Boring Company and SpaceX, and you pay actual engineers to do stuff. Sure, maybe you as like the lead guy might constantly overstate the expectations one should have for your products and then fail to meet it, or constantly have to recall your shitty cars or whatever. But, you know, at least it's something. The problem with being the owner of a social media company is that this is actually a really bad place to be if you're an overconfident idiot who wants to maintain a mirage of competence. Uh, Social media companies are not easy to run. They are literally the most publicly visible institution in existence. There's none other. Find me an institution more publicly visible than a social media company. You'll not. This is as evident as one gets. And because, of course, stable genius Elon Musk thinks himself some kind of, genius savant, he has immediately implanted his brilliant schemes onto the management of this fine app. Let me just he had an all hands meeting. Okay? Currently an emergency Twitter all hands going on with Elon Musk answering employee questions. Elon was asked, how are you going to deal with the expected attrition and align everyone in a shared vision? Elon's answer, I don't know. We all need to be more hardcore. He's putting that, yeah, putting that high IQ management style to work here. Let's get hardcore, because this is a pretty hardcore Twitter thread, IMO. On the call, Musk was also asked about the company's financial runway and how it was doing in terms of the business. Musk mentioned that Twitter had net negative cash flow of several billion dollars and that he recently sold a bunch of Tesla stock in order to save the company. Now, this is worse than it sounds, and I'll talk about that in a second. But he guys, he bought Twitter less than 2 weeks ago. It has been, I think, 13 days. Truly the Tony Stark of our time. Who's this witty guy? Let me get through these links, make sure that I have all of them. Elon Musk told Twitter employees the company may lose billions next year and bankruptcy isn't out of the question. 13 days, guys. 13 days. 13 days. I'm not kidding when I say you could have made the owner of Twitter a dog, and you would not have been getting headlines like this after 13 days. Because a dog wouldn't have immediately fired half the staff and then like sheepishly asked a lot of them to come back. Did I talk about that on stream? Where he immediately set about firing a bunch of people in an entirely unjust and shitty way, and then was sheepishly like, actually we need like people to come back. Oh, that's one of the headlines that my man Ken over here is throwing out there. After laying off half of staff, Twitter might be asking some employees to come back. Hilarious. Thank you. Elon Musk says Twitter has had massive revenue drop as advertisers pause spending. Hilarious. Thank you. Twitter's cybersecurity chief amid company turmoil. Hilarious. Thank you. FTC says it's tracking the developments at Twitter with deep concern. Literally, this could not be going worse, faster. Do you want to know why advertisers are pausing their spending? Spokesperson for pharmaceutical giant Eli Lilly says they're in communication with Twitter to address the fake but verified Eli Lilly tweet that has been up for 3 hours. We are excited to announce insulin is free now. So it turns out that effectively nulling the feature that allowed brands to authenticate and distinguish themselves was actually a really, really, really bad idea for brand retention. If you can believe it, if you could think for any length of time. Again, I really mean it. A dog wouldn't have done this poorly. Elon Musk is speedrunning the worst imaginable decisions. It's difficult to even make fun of because it feels like it's undignified for me to even take it seriously enough to explain why it's bad. You know what I mean? It would be like if somebody was doing a dentistry exam and they like brought a hammer with them and they started running around smashing all the mannequins and stuff. Like writing a detailed report on how every individual smash is like not conducive to proper dentistry feels like kind of a waste. You know what I mean? It's like we're so far out of the ballpark of competent like company ownership that it's like we're in a different dimension right now. It's phenomenal. Wait, it's gotten worse? Yeah, it has! Because corporations and brands have been trying to reach out to Twitter only to find... The head of Twitter communications quit. It is a rudderless ship. It could not possibly be going worse. Again, I am an architect being asked to evaluate the structural stability of a building that is currently on fire. I am an aeronautics engineer looking at the Hindenburg photo after it's already crashed into the ground and being asked why it can't fly. It is beyond analysis. He's just that dumb. Twitter might be worth $8 billion now. Ah, yes. Just to be clear, Twitter senior secured bank loans, the top of the capital stack at 60 cents, implies Twitter, for which Elon Musk paid $44 billion, is now worth less than $8 billion. Oh, God. Oh, yeah. Genius. You know, they say not even a billionaire could spend, $32 billion in 2 weeks. Well, folks, I got news for you. It gets worse than all of this. It gets worse. This is just on the surface, okay? This isn't just about Twitter, okay? I want to talk to you guys a little bit about wealth, all right? Now, I assume most of you know this, but not everyone does, and it's good to, it's good to make sure everyone's on the same page. When they say stuff like Bill Gates made 10 billion in the past week, or Elon Musk lost 10 billion that day alone, it's not technically true. See, for wealthy people, you don't keep your wealth in a bank account, right? You keep them in stocks and options and a variety of, possessions that are meant to appreciate in interest. For Elon Musk, an enormous amount of his wealth is tied up in the stocks that he has and the variety of companies that he controls. Now, I want to show you something very funny, okay? It's comedy gold. This is Tesla stock. Elon Musk had to sell billions of Tesla stock to shore up the cash deficits of Twitter, and he did so at less than half the value of Twitter stock compared to 1 year ago. Less than half. Twitter might actually end up being his downfall, and I'll tell you why. Many of Elon Musk's companies are massively overvalued. They are wildly overestimated in worth at the stock market. And a lot of that comes down to taking advantage of extremely preferential government subsidies, which is its whole other thing. But a lot of it also comes down to Elon Musk's reputation. See, whether or not Tesla is highly evaluated or not highly evaluated comes down to how soy everyone is being about Elon Musk that day. This is why company stock goes up when they announce something, not when they start selling something. It can go up when they start selling something, but announcements are able to drive up company stock, and that's because hype drives evaluation, and the evaluation of the worth of a stock is what determines, well, its worth, because that's how the system works. What all this means is that Tesla is really not much of anything without Elon Musk. In spite of the fact that Elon Musk doesn't own all of Tesla. Elon owns Twitter in its entirety. He bought Twitter. But Elon controls, I think, about 20% of Tesla stock, which is more than any other individual, but not a single majority, meaning that the board of shareholders would be capable of ousting Elon Musk as CEO if his behavior got bad enough. Elon Musk has been not great CEO for a while now. Why do you think they keep him around? Well, the answer is pretty obvious. It's because he's real life Tony Stark, guys. He's fucking, because he's real life Tony Stark. Because he's a genius. Because he's gonna save the world, guys. Because he's a mascot. That's why. So what we have right now is the world's wealthiest man, whose power, wealth, and influence are dictated almost entirely by his hype. And his hype is dictated almost entirely by the perception of him as an eccentric billionaire. How do you think things are going for that right now? He might be entering a death spiral. Twitter will lose a lot of money. He's already had to sell a bunch of Tesla stock to shore up costs. He paid too much for Twitter to begin with, and he's already having to sell depreciated Tesla stock to cover it up. The worse Twitter does, the more money it loses, the worse Elon looks, the less Tesla's worth, the less the stock is worth when he sells it to cover up the losses. It is an actual possible death spiral. It might end up taking Twitter out with it, which, good, whatever. Fucking, it's Twitter, Okay, sure, fine. But this move, this might go beyond just a poor decision from Elon Musk. This might actually end up like severely crippling him, financially and politically, because this is as good of evidence as you're ever going to get that the man is not actually the real life Tony Stark. Not actually. That's not actually true. Truly phenomenal stuff. Biden has already said he's going to look into his China dealings. We'll see. We're not even talking about the angle of the government getting involved here. I mean, that's a whole other side of things. Yeah. Yeah, not to mention the more Tesla stock he sells to cover costs, the less control he has over it. Yeah, it's really funny. It's extremely funny. It's incredibly funny. Did you see the CISO, Chief Privacy Officer, and Chief Compliance Officer all resigned because Elon's lawyer put out a statement on their Slack that Elon is willing to take on huge amounts of risk? Oh, right. I'm so sorry. How could I so much? This is why I got to prepare my materials beforehand. Elon's lawyer said on Slack. So Elon's lawyer is like a true believer, okay? Said this. Elon is willing to take on a huge amount of risk. He put rockets into space. He's not afraid of the FTC. If you are a sane human being, the statement, oh yeah, your boss has put rockets into space, he's not afraid of the FTC, is a great time to leave the company that you are currently in. Of course, Elon Musk never put rockets into space. The engineers put rockets into space. Elon has never done anything of the sort. Such a revealing statement. And this has led not only, yes, not only to their communications department shutting down, at least for a time, but also their CISO compliance officer. An employee says it'll be up to engineers to self-certify compliance with FTC requirements and other laws. They are telling the fucking code jockeys who work at Twitter, hey, like, can you study up on like telecommunications law? Can you like learn, do you think you could get a second degree and learn about this thing that people are normally paid enormous amounts of money to dictate? Like, keeping up with FTC requirements as a social media company is literally one of the most involved, like, high-level positions you could. No, but could you guys do it? You know? All this is extremely dangerous for our users, the message says, given the FTC can and will fine Twitter billions of dollars pursuant to the FTC consent order. Right now, if Twitter is fined billions, that means Elon is fined billions. How funny is that? That's very funny. You know, normally when you hear about some big company getting fined, like the fine goes into some legal black hole. But the way things are right now, if Twitter ends up getting fined a bunch, then yeah, Elon will have to pay that. He single-handedly owns Twitter. See Twitter's emergency meeting summary. Elon was 15 minutes late after giving employees 1 hour of notice. Hold on. I love this, man. Is that in this? I don't think I've seen this thread. No, this was from the 9th. This was from yesterday. But I didn't go over that either. I mean, so far in this call, Elon says we will ban impersonators and keep the rate dollars. Eventually, impersonators will stop making accounts because losing money is disincentive. I have a lot of faith in humanity. Most people are good. If your business strategy involves you having to explain how people are basically good, you probably don't have a good business strategy. You know what I mean? It'll work. Listen, the humans are naturally generous to the wealthiest man on Earth, you know? Elon's take on brand safety. I want to get rid of the bad content. I don't want things on here that are not funny or entertaining. He's such a fucking Redditor. According to someone I know at SpaceX, Elon has at least once been single-handedly responsible for delaying a rocket launch because he wanted the nozzles to be shiny instead of matte. I completely and 100% believe you. Not only do I not need evidence to believe you, but if somebody showed me counter evidence, I would disbelieve them. I would die defending your honor to preserve my perception that you are telling the truth. Twitter's lawyers are telling Twitter staff to get whistleblower legal protections. I'm going to run out of... I'm so sorry. How can I not? Senior people at Twitter have resigned in the last 48 hours. We now know why. They said in private Slack channels, Elon Musk is so desperate to recoup his money, he's taking crazy risks with your privacy and safety. Yeah, do not buy the check mark, even for bits, okay? All that shit is going to get leaked. There is no future in which this shit does not get leaked, all right? Right now, Twitter is extremely hackable. That makes every user here at extreme risk for DM leaks, identity theft, and surveillance. Elon doesn't care. He wants his money, so they resigned, and top lawyers told Twitter employees to get whistleblower protections. The FCC just announced they are investigating. Oh, God. Phenomenal. Start getting on Panasonic. Start getting on Panasonic. They make his batteries for the 3 and Y. Why did I have no idea what you're referring to. You mean like because they support him? What are your thoughts on the chance that Elon has an iFunny account? Dude, Elon 100% has an iFunny account. 100%. This might be considered the biggest Ponzi scheme in history. Elon is now beholden to investors to the tune of tens of billions of dollars that he managed to lose in 2 weeks. Does anyone... How much was loaned to him for the Twitter buy? Is it known how much was? Wasn't it like 13 billion? Here, I'll check. Much was loaned to Elon Musk to buy Twitter. To buy Twitter. Here. How Elon Musk financed his Twitter takeover. Thank you. The first thing I read, keep reading, Israeli forces to kill 2 Palestinians. How did Elon Musk finance his $44 billion Twitter takeover? Well, first he put out a hit on 2 Palestinians. You know, this was necessary to secure the favor of Netanyahu. Okay. A large part of that, about 12.5 billion, was said to have come from loans backed by his shares in the electric car company, meaning he would not have to... Ooh. Loans backed by the shares that have depreciated by more than 50% since 1 year ago in Tesla. Okay. Yeah, the loans came from the deflating company that his poor performance in Twitter is going to further depreciate the value for. Ultimately, put from the cash. The 51-year-old ends up selling about 15.5 billion with a Tesla in 2 waves. Also includes 5.2 billion from investment groups and other large funds, like Larry Ellison, co-founder of the software company Oracle, who wrote a $1 billion check as part of the arrangement. Qatar Holding, which is controlled by Qatar's sovereign wealth fund, the Qatar Investment Authority, has also tossed capital into the pot. And Prince Al-Walid bin Talal of Saudi Arabia. Oh, it says he was supposed to go on loan but didn't? At first, the Twitter had a large part of that was set. Oh, I'm sorry. I read was said to have come, not set to have come. So he did not back this with Tesla backed loans. So wait, then it was. So he sold the Tesla shares, and then he spent that much, and then this. Okay, gotcha. It's not good. It's not good. Prince Alwid bin Talal of Saudi Arabia transferred to Musk the nearly 35 million shares he already owned. In exchange for their investments, the contributors will become Twitter shareholders. Huh. The rest of the money, about 13 billion worth, is backed by bank loans, including from Morgan Stanley, Bank of America, Japanese banks, Mitsubishi UFJ Financial Group, and Mizuho, Barclays, and the French bank Societe Generale and BNP Paribas. This shit's complicated. Morgan Stanley's contribution alone is about 3.5 billion. Dude, people have got to be really fucking mad with Elon right now. Like really fucking mad. Elon's got some angry like text messages that he's screening on his phone. I'll tell you what. 100%. Will it be based if Elon destroys Twitter? Yes, it will be based if Elon destroys Twitter. You think he'll get suicided? Probably not. Stuff like that doesn't actually happen that much. Elon believed his own hype, didn't he? Yeah, 100%. That's what defines people like Elon Musk. Elon Musk, Donald Trump, that's the thing that makes them exceptional, you know? They're not just grifters. Grifters on their own are usually smart enough to understand when to back out of the game they're playing. Like Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro was a big anti-Trump guy, and then when he realized there was no path forward but Trump, he just stopped that and started singing Trump's praises. He would do so in a kind of like half-heartedly critical way, you know, oh, I think Trump is mean and bullyish, but the real criticisms he had disappeared. Ben's smart. I still believe that, even if he is incredibly dishonest. He read the writing on the wall, so he pulled away. Yeah, they're yes men, you know? But people like Donald Trump and Elon Musk are exceptional in that they fully 100% believe in themselves, you know? They're like anime protagonists. You know how in like shonen anime, the protags get stronger when they believe in themselves? That's them. That's the world they live in, okay? Um it may seem incomprehensible to us, but nice cut. In half an hour, I'm going to be talking to my man, I'm really important, to talk about some electoral stuff. So until we do that, what if we talk about other stuff that is also electoral? A reminder that if you're watching this right now and you haven't subscribed to my channel, an ancient Gaelic curse will afflict you. I'm not really sure on the specifics because I only read English, but I think it has something to do with your wives. Just make sure to subscribe. It's really for your sake more than anyone else's. Yeah, you don't want that gay lick curse coming from your coming for your wife, okay? She is not going back to you after that one. Right, let me get this up. My God, my left nostril is so fucking itchy. This is the shit that gets me about like, if you're like a politician or something, how are you not always scratching your nose when your nose is itchy? Like, how does that like? Do you just deal with it? Because in public, you don't want like some guy to take a photo of you like scratching your nose, and then you've got like 3 weeks of news cycles on how you're a nose picker or something. You know, how do they deal with that? I don't know. That's tough. Sever facial nerves? That must be it. That's the only possible explanation. What was I doing? I was doing no, not that. I was doing this. Here we go. Nice. So, for those of you who don't know, youth turnout 2022 election. The Zoomers did, you know, relatively well in the most recent election, at least insofar as their relative turnout and who they voted for. The youth vote, that is 18 to 27 or 29, depending on who's asking. We'll just say 29 for the sake of that's what the NPR article that I'm looking at says. They came out like, what was it, like 30 points ahead for Democrats on average? Does anyone have that chart? Somebody pull that up while I look at this. Now, unfortunately, despite their high turnout, we're talking high turnout for Zoomers. 27% of voters between the age of 18 and 29 cast a ballot. Thanks, Zoomers. The 1/4 of you who bothered to show up ended up giving us 2 more years to forestall the end of our democracy. You know, could I have a few more of you? Could have been a little more maybe than 27%. Yeah, I bet half of them are in my chat right now. Good job, guys. Unironically, thank you. What's the rest with you? What are you doing? What the fuck are you doing? Young people aren't even having sex these days. You're not even the chart that I saw. You're all losers and virgins. What are you doing with your night? You're fucking playing League of Legends. Stop playing League of Legends. You're not doing your classwork because none of you do your classwork. You don't have any friends. Just go vote. Maybe you'll meet somebody cute in the voter line. Okay? Maybe you will. Maybe you'll be maybe you'll be chilling there in the voter line. You know, you'll be on your phone because you'll be waiting for a while, and then you'll feel something soft brush against your back, and it's because behind you a big titty anime goth girl just tripped. She's got toast in her mouth, and she tripped, and her fucking giant pillowy tits hit you. And while she frantically apologizes to you, you're like, you're girl, girl, and she immediately falls for your charms. This happens to like 50% of people who go vote, okay? So fucking vote. Jesus Christ. Come on. They're totally into that. Come on. Seriously. Come on, guys. Anyway. The youth did a better job than expected. So that's cool. Here's the Republican response. I said this before, you know, the immediate impulse of the Republican, if a group of people does not vote for them, is to just make it illegal for that group of people to vote, rather than to like change their policies to appeal to those groups. That's like their like off the bat, like that's like their innate immediate. They do it with like all groups. If you're black, hey, congratulations, your county now has one polling place. Thank God for the 2013 removal of the Voting Rights Act. Thanks, Supreme Court. Love that. If you're fucking poor, yeah, no holiday. No holiday on the voting day. So that if you're poor and you're like working paycheck to paycheck, like you can't afford to take a day off, you know? That's great. If you're a fucking felon, the people of Florida voted to allow felons to be able to vote again. And the Florida Republican legislator was like, actually, no, we're just going to ignore the will of the people. And we are going to make it so only a tiny fraction of felons can vote again. You know, Republicans will always default to just like, if you don't like us, you shouldn't be able to vote, you know? Which is great. Now, yeah, of course, the voting age of 18 is constitutionally protected, so there's nothing they can actually do about it, you know, not without a whole thing, you know. But yeah, that's like their immediate response, you know. Right now, Nick Fuentes, the least homosexual groiper, where'd that link go? If only I had the presence of mind to keep these links on hand. Yeah, here we go. Your man Nicky F over here. That's what we call each other because we're good friends. Republican operative Nick Fuentes reacts to GOP failures in the midterm elections. We need a dictatorship. We need to take control of the government and force the people to believe what we believe. Now, again, Nick Fuentes is, of course, a neo-Nazi, but it's worth noting that right here, his position isn't actually different. Guys, it's not mask off, you retards. He's a Nazi. You go on his stream and he's just talking about the Holocaust. Like, what do you... It's not mask off. Mask off doesn't mean this person's a reactionary. It means this person has, for a moment, failed to keep up the mask. It's not... Learn the terms. Anyway, in this respect, his logic really isn't that different from the mainstream Republican Party, though. I mean, here.
You got to recognize the fact that this is a godless country. I hate it. It's immoral, it's wrong, it's heinous, it's evil, but this is an evil country. And this country will surprise you with how evil it is. And that's why you got to get this out of your head that there is some silent majority cavalry that's going to come out of the woods and save us at the last minute. It's not. When we meet the left on the battlefield and they outnumber us like 5-1, that's it. But the point is, when you look at these things like abortion, it's popular. People like abortion. Hate
Why does he sound like that? It's the lisp that they get. Don't make fun.
it, but it's true. And you can thank the Jewish media for that. Abortion's popular. Sodomy's popular. You know, being gay is popular. Being a feminist is popular. Sex out of wedlock is popular. Contraceptives are... It's all popular. That's all. That's not to say it's good. That's not to say I like that.
A reminder that one of the more recent splits that Nick Fuentes had with former associates was that they were put off by how averse Fuentes seems to be to having sex with women. God, I remember that live stream that I watched. They were like, Nick, I'm a man in my 30s. I have a wife. Why are you making jokes about it being gross to have sex with women? And then I'll like make jokes about femboys. Like, it's just, he's a goofy guy, is all I'm saying. And now that he shaved his beard, like maybe in more way than one, he's sort of returning to tradition with this homo posting, which I support fully, and I want him to live his truth. The cum couch, yes. Oh, the cum couch. When he was looking for the cum from his roommate. Oh, it's such a... I didn't even go over all this in the stream, because what is even to be said? He had this roommate, it was like, you wouldn't jerk off, would you? You wouldn't jerk off, would you? I have to look for cum. If there's cum here, it means you jerked off. Check the cum couch. There's cum on the couch. I guess, I guess, I can't, I'm not gonna get into all of it. Okay.
Popular means the people support it, which they do. And it sucks, and it is what it is, but that's why we need dictatorship. That's unironically why we need to get rid of all that. We need to take control of the media or take control of the government and force the people to believe what we believe, or force them to play by our rules and reshape the society.
So the point I want to make here isn't that Nick Fuentes is a nut job and a repressor, though he is and he is. The trans porn in his phone too. No. It wasn't trans porn, okay? It was femboy porn, which is based in Tradpill, that he got caught having on his phone. Anyway, the point here isn't that he's weird and a repressor. The point here is that, leaving aside the bit about the Jewish media, which Republicans imply but don't outwardly state, and again, the dictatorship part, which they don't outwardly state but are currently working towards, isn't what he said right there essentially just like mainstream Republican logic? At the end of the day, I don't actually believe it's any different from this, because you see this so often, right? The way Republicans are constantly fear-mongering over the wrong people voting, like illegal immigrants who aren't voting, or people engaging in fraud, or, there are people who vote who aren't really real Americans because of this reason or that. And they're not usually this explicit, but this is kind of what they're getting at, which is like, they don't really see voting as a process of democracy to represent the people. They see voting as a way of reaffirming existing power. To bring this back to a historical analogy that no one has ever used before, after Adolf Hitler was very in charge of Germany, after he was extremely in charge of Germany, unquestionably, undeniably in charge of Germany, the Nazi Party had an election to sort of reaffirm the legitimacy of his rule, which looked like this. You've probably seen this before. Essentially, will you accept Adolf Hitler as your leader? With yes being centered and large, and no being smaller and to the side. Now, obviously, by this point in the development of Nazi Germany, no electoral outcome would have actually changed whether Hitler was in charge. Every single citizen could have checked no, and it wouldn't have changed a thing. So why have it at all? Why does Assad have elections that he reports on? Why do North Korean officials do this? Well, the answer is, obvious, right? The election isn't actually about democracy. It's about using the aesthetic of public support as a way of bolstering a non-democratic leader. And that's what Republicans are talking about. When Republicans talk about the right people getting to vote, what they really mean is the right people are the people who will vote for us, and they're the only ones who should be able to vote. Not because they think they're the ones who are only truly representative in this country, but because they're only interested in voting as an expression and reaffirmation of power. Do you understand? You get what I'm saying, right? It is a fundamentally different way of looking at the electoral process. And because we live in a democracy, a flawed one, but still, we do live in a democracy. We're not quite Syria tier yet, There is a relationship between what people vote and what actually happens, however non-correlative it may feel sometimes. We're kind of in an interesting position where we have two parties, one of which, the Democrats, treat elections like elections, and the other, Republicans, treat elections like a way of consolidating power within a group of chosen people. Within a of celebrating and of cementing like a perceived, and in this case quite fictitious, like mandate of public will. And you don't normally see a division like that in one country. Usually in one country, people at least are kind of on board with, or at least willing to play ball within the way things work. But Republicans just do not think of elections the way we do, and the Republican officials train their voters to think of it that way as well. Republican voters are being sort of groomed into thinking of an authentic or legitimate voter as somebody who must necessarily vote Republican. That's the goal for them. They want to believe that any vote which is for a Democrat or, whatever, it's not just a disagreeing vote. It's an illegitimate vote. Do you understand the difference? It's not just they're wrong. It's by being wrong, they have forfeited their right to even be able to participate in this system of power. That's the way they think of it. And that's dumb. And also fascism. Not good. I'm agreeing with this, but how is this different from vote blue no matter who? All right. They're not even related to each other at all. There's no relationship between anything that I just said and my belief that you should always vote for blue candidates. The Republicans aren't saying you should always vote Republican. The Republicans are saying that people who don't vote for them are illegitimate voters. They don't even have a right to participate in democracy. There's no relation. Can you clarify your take from 2 days ago at how we ought to move away if we can, the passports thing? I didn't say you ought to move away if you can. I said make sure your passports are up to date, something I still believe. If we just give up a fascist America, they would export the evil to wherever we'd go, IMO. Would you tell a Jew fleeing Germany in 1932 that they've got to stay and fight? No, and nor will I. Keep your passports up to date. I'll keep hammering on that. To be fair, Germany didn't have nukes. America will probably not nuke the world, and if they do anyway, then it won't matter where you are. Okay? It's fine. It's not fine. All right, end it. End it. Stop. Nice. Hold on. We have 15 till I talk to IRI. Let me read some donos. Not the least reason for which being wait. Vosh, explain exactly what you mean by the password thing. Why is it necessary exactly? If this country goes fascist, some people are at risk of severe discrimination or possibly death. I still think Republicans are very likely to, at least for a time, destroy our democracy. Probably in 2024. So it would be a good idea to make sure your passports are up to date, because if the writing is on the wall, you want to be one of the people who leaves before and not one of the people trying to leave after they start cracking down. So is it just advice for minorities? No, for all of you. It's just a good idea. It's not hard. It's not difficult. Just do it. I feel like I'm having to explain in mathematical terms why you should wipe your ass. Just do it. Just do it. I don't care. If you are an American, if you live in America, just have your passport updated. Don't ask me why. Don't complain. Just do it. Please, just do that. It won't hurt you. Wait, why should I wipe my ass, Vosh? Yeah, true. Sorry, I'm not trying to be disagree with the community or anything. I just I feel like I've spent 3.5 years saying over and over it can happen here, and now I'm saying like it will probably happen here, and people are like, wait, what? You know? And it's it's like, okay. Sorry, I did do it recently, just a little doomery. you updated it recently, then just there you go. You did it. You followed the advice. It's fine. Okay, let me read this. Cunning linguist. Thank you for the very kind tier 2 sub. When you brought up Blake Masters yesterday, I remembered my GF had waited his table at her work, serving him only bacon and describing him as dead in the eyes. It's the fascism. It rots the brain. It's true. Arthur, thank you for the $3. AIU got his channel unbanned on YouTube. Oh, dope. That guy's super autistic. Ravens Eden, thank you for the $2. Thank you. I appreciate that. Muska Krish, thank you for the $5. Appreciate that. Totally not a demon. Thank you likewise. Rat Avi and Zakels, thank you for the tier 1 subs both. Ravens Eden and William Oliver, thank you for the $5 both. Really appreciate that. Matthew Booth, thank you for the $2. Do you think the GOP would get buddy-buddy with China? Yeah, probably. Carl Marky Marks, the very kind $10. I really appreciate that. Adrian with the $10. Did you hear Candace Owens on Trump? Yes, I did. Yeah. Skull of Madness, Dave Valensky, thank you for the $5 both. I really appreciate that. Yes, Ron DeSantis campaign backed by the GOP will absolutely happen in 2024. Do you think you'll be a Trump or bust in the Republican Party? I'll be, like it was before Bernie Sanders and Democrats. There will be many Trump or bust people in the GOP, I think, in 2024. Bananable and Bat Canary, thank you for the $5 both. I really appreciate that. Matthew Culinan, thank you for the incredibly kind $20. Can you please offer up some advice? I'm a 37-year-old cis male dealing with the after effects of pickup artist indoctrination. I have not consumed content in years, however, I still instinctively gamify all social interactions. Oh, well, you didn't ask a question, but I think I'm assuming the question would be like, how do I not do this? Yeah, that's a difficult and interesting question. Gamify social interactions. So a big problem with pickup artistry is that it teaches you to think of women like obstacles that have to be overcome by methodically employing a series of techniques that you're taught for getting past women being resistant or unwilling or what have you. You know, it can get pretty rapey sometimes. Sometimes it's just really weird and alienating. Of course, reliably, the easiest way to do basically anything social is to just treat people like a normal equal and work it out from there. A lot of people have difficulty with this because they think treating women like equals means treating them sexlessly, you know? Like, treating them like equals must mean that, you know, you can't, like, be flirty or whatever. But that's a mistake because when people assume that, what they're essentially saying is that they think treating like equals means treating the way I'd treat the boys. When in reality, you can treat people in a normal and respectful way while also you know, being open to being like flirty or whatever, you know? And I don't even think it's that hard. I don't even think it's particularly difficult to run that line. I mean, for me, the best advice that I have, and what I would always suggest in a situation like that, is have female friends. Because at the end of the day, this instinct towards gamification is driven by sort of deliberately reaffirmed conditioning, right? Like you've taught yourself to think this way. And the best way to undo that conditioning is experiences which kind of, you know, pull them apart. And if you can just have friendships with women, you know, you're sort of obligated to interact with them as an equal. And a lot of people say they have friendships with women, but what they actually mean is like there are women they get along with and want to fuck, and they haven't yet closed the deal on that, either for a yes or for a no. And that's not really having a friend who's a woman. That's more like you're just sort of waiting for the you know, for the pot to finish boiling on a person who happens to be a lady. You know, it's not really the same thing. You know, it's good just to learn to talk to people in that respect. And I think that undoes conditioning about as well as one can reasonably. Hopefully that helps a little. Sorry if it didn't. What is with these donos? The company, thank you for the incredibly kind $100 donation. I really appreciate that. Sup, bitch? Sup, bitch to you. My cracker. Not on Twitch. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Super kind. Left Frog and K Comrade Robin Hood, thank you for the $5. Yes, a lot of wacky stuff happening in Ukraine right now. And I wish lefties wouldn't be so cavalier with the death of Twitter. My dad loved the fledgling community for diabetes on Twitter and now feels very lost. Oh, Left Frog, I totally get that. I actually do like some sections of Twitter, like art and furry porn Twitter. It's more like if Twitter, which is can be a pretty like bad social space, you know, just generally, it also ends up being the sort of the hill upon which Elon Musk, the world's most annoying human, you know, like falls upon. I mean, you have to be cavalier about that, right? Debo Musake, thank you for the tier 1 sub. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Vashishish, thank you for the $50. I really, really appreciate that. Just want to say Drunk Voosh is adorable and also doomerism is what the right wants us to do. Yes, because when you doomer, you give up on any kind of meaningful action. Don't want that. Don't want that. Thank you so much for the incredibly kind donation. Yeah, I don't know where all the furry porn's going to go after Twitter. You know, a lot of those smaller artists are fucked though, right? Yeah, it sucks. No, I haven't had a guild in a long time, Calmcat. Furry porn will go to Tumblr. Tumblr doesn't allow porn, only nudity. John from DC, thank you for the $66.60. I really, really appreciate that. This is true. Passports, guns, multi-factor authentication. Zoomers are stupid wake-up kiddos. Yep. Sorry. Just gotta. Tumblr reversed their porn decision? No, they didn't. They allow nudity, not porn. Yeah, gotta be prepared, John from DC. It's I'll keep hamming on this. I will. I'll make sure everyone knows. Trace Novak, thank you for the $5. Really appreciate that. Eric404, thank you for the tier 1 sub. I really appreciate that. Maybe. Charlotte96, thank you for the $5. True. Melkor Belgor, thank you for the $10. Just curious if you heard of Eric Hoffer or his book True Believer. I actually have a hunch the 14 Points of Fascism was heavily inspired by it. No, I'm not familiar, I'm afraid. Antifa Private 161, thank you for the incredibly kind $5. I really appreciate that. Story to share was canvassing for a congressional candidate, but got kicked off campaign for having a gun hoodie. Caused a big internal fight for the local Dems. God, Dems are such pussies. Hug and Ray wouldn't streams anymore. Check your own channel to confirm. Yeah, they we're gonna try to have shorts on the main channel now because like the main YouTube page now has tabs for live and shorts, which is actually really awesome. There's the regular videos, and then over here in the shorts, they've got that. And then on the live, they have all that. Though, unfortunately, as you can see, the live section seems to be sorted by like a monkey. Because as you can see, like stream 2 years ago is over here at the top. Even though it says recently updated right here. 7 months, 1 year, 2 years. Like, okay. So we'll have to keep the playlist up, you know, whatever. That's because you've unlisted the videos? Really? Maybe. Anyway, let me read some more donos because in 5 minutes we're talking to IRI. Dexalo with the $10. I don't understand why people are so hung up on the whole keeping your passport up to date thing. What the fuck are they on? Dexalo, it's not because they don't understand, it's because they don't want to understand. They understand that having to do something like that would imply potentially something really bad about the future, and they don't really want to commit to that. A lot of people, unfortunately, even though they think they don't, see politics as like a purely intellectual, like distance game, you know? It's difficult to reconcile with the fact that, like, you know, at any point in time, things could get really bad in a way which looks like it's out of the history books. But yeah, you gotta. Dunlamido asks, you're right. Thank you for the 5. Hey, Canoe. I'm talking with chat. Dunlamido and Jacuzzi, thank you for the $5 both. Really appreciate that. I live outside the US and I'm worried about how its spiral into fascism might affect the rest of the world. Is there anything I can do or do I have to just sit? Just keep your home open to any American refugees, okay? So we can make bad food and make your life worse. Kashar and Cats on Meth, thanks to the tier 1 subs. General Hunter Gathers with the tier 3 and tier 2 subs. Bosch, thank you for getting me through almost a year of a fucked up back. Had second spine surgery on Friday. Recovery on the way. Your content kept me sane. Fuck yeah. Happy to hear that. I've struggled with back pain myself, though nothing that required spinal surgery. I'm really happy to hear you were able to get it. Excuse me. Yeah, that's fantastic. Sake with the 2 gifted tier 1 subs. To think we could have had Blorida if Vosh had only done Okay Buddy Vosh more than once every 3 months. Don't you put that on me. Rob M with the $5. Yeah, no, I like talking to Deepak. And SC with the $5. You act like porn being banned on Tumblr stops people, though. I see it constantly there. No, this is the critical difference, okay? You may see porn on Tumblr, but there aren't going to be porn artists there. Because porn artists make their living off of being able to reliably attract commissions from others. Which they're not going to do on a site that'll ban them. You just see people reposting porn or just like dumping it from accounts, you know, not people building a following there. Which, if you want high quality furry porn, is what you need. Harry S. Plinkett, I don't remember what Josh Shapiro sounds like. I think I've only seen 1 or 2 speeches from him. He could be a rising star. We'll see. Good luck with jury duty, Charlotte. Thank you. And John from the Langley Company with the insanely kind $50 dono. I really, really, really appreciate that. Vosh, I've watched you for years and drowned my chase card in Doom, but I just have to say you do good things and I really, really appreciate you and what you do. Hey, if you're drowning your chase card, don't donate to me, okay? Keep your situation afloat. Thank you. There's no need to doom her out, all right? There's always something we can do. There's always something we can do to move forward, okay? Keep that in mind. Okay, there are a few more donos, but let me pause on these for a bit, because we're about to talk to IRI. Talking is fun. What is this? Somebody linked this and said this was their favorite bit from me being drunk. It's not a serious fucking country, dude. This country's retarded. That's true. Gold! Gold! At 100,000 or so votes ahead? Where's the call? Where's the call? I think he's gonna win, but where's the call? Where? From MSNBC, FETTERMAN! Yeah! Fuck yeah! Fucking fat ass, fucking 6'20", fucking giant ass, fucking Goliath, fucking giant troll ass, fucking big boy! Yeah! Woo! Yeah, fucking, I'm absolutely drinking more alcohol. Yes! Fucking FETTERMAN! Yes! Get our... I vaguely remember this happening. All right. Hold on. Ready whenever, just let me know. Nice! Let's talk to IRI.
Hello.
Howdy.
What's going on, my friend? It's been a minute.
It has been a minute. How you been?
I'm feeling pretty good now, I'll tell you that much. What a great night Tuesday was.
Yeah, I've had worse nights in the past, that's for sure. I could be more satisfied, but I think I'll have to accept what we got.
Heck yeah.
There we go. All my OBS settings are fucked because I haven't had somebody's pop out Discord fucking window since I switched computers. Okay, there we go. Why is it showing like that? Oh my god. Okay, there we go. I'm alive. Hello.
You've got like some sick rig now that you built, right?
Yes. We had to remove a couple of faulty RAM chips, but after we got that fixed, it works just fine.
Dude, that's so frustrating. You turn it on and you don't know what the problem is, but I'm glad you figured it out.
Well, it was White Nervosa who did all the hard work. So yeah, we did it. We single-handedly saved democracy.
Yes, we did. I was genuinely concerned a little bit. A lot of election deniers on the ballot, and they got their ass handed to them, which was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, kind of, right? Like things were biased because midterms go against the incumbent president's party, but this is very much a 50.1 versus 49.9, right?
50, yeah, I mean it's not a huge blowout or anything like that, but still, if we the fact that we're even competitive in this environment is insane. Like everybody thought this is going to be a bloodbath, and it should have been for us. It really should have been.
No, I agree. I'm kind of caught on like 2 points here because on one hand, we did insanely well compared to what we expected, but on the other hand, I still fully believe this country's dead in 2 years. So I like it. I don't want the pessimism to sort of dole out the optimism, and I don't want the optimism to null my. Hello?
Did you go down?
Yeah, that was pretty wacky. I assumed that you
Damn.
had, because it doesn't happen to me that often. Howdy.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you're back. Yeah, my power went down yesterday for the first time in years, so who knows
They're
what's
coming
going
for
on out
us.
there.
There
They're
we
mad,
go.
dude.
All right,
They're mad.
Let me fix chat. 1 second. All right,
No
sorry
worries.
about that. Anyway, the point that I was making was that I am very happy with the outcome of this election. I don't know how much it changes the long-term trajectory of this country, but it is still nice. It does make some people very mad online, which does make me happy.
Well, have you been watching all the COPE streams from the conservatives?
Yeah, we were going to go over some after I was done talking to you.
Okay, yeah, you're gonna have a blast. They were on, they were elated when the stream started, and then by the end of it, they're like, "Well, guys, we just got to wait for all the votes to come in and see what happens."
Yeah, they were really tired. They were just stuff got really difficult for them. Yeah, it's pretty funny. It's funny because very rarely a lot of these conservative grifters are so like innately insincere. They're so inauthentic that you very rarely get to see them with their pants down. You know what I mean? Like,
yes,
to get an actual sincere bit of disappointment from them, it's very funny.
Yeah, I think reality hit them for the first time in a long time because they were on their high horse for like the last year thinking we are just going to pound on these libs and own them and can't wait till we sail back to power. And this was a gut check for them. Holy cow.
Yeah, for sure. Have you seen the AOC write-up on how centrists in New York like cucked them over? How it's it really, really, really screwed Dems in the state over?
I have not seen this. I imagine it has something to do with gerrymandering or something like that.
I think, hold on, it's on my list for the day. I heard that, yeah, because in New York City, that like next to Florida, New York City was the biggest disappointment of the night, where weirdly, like every county skewed rightward. And apparently there's some stuff the Democrats have been doing that have just I have to look into that later. I was hoping that you had read it because I haven't yet.
Well,
you're much more fastidious than I am when it comes to this stuff.
Well, I'm aware of the New York situation in general, and I do agree. You're right that we got clapped in New York. And if we lose the House, which there is a slim road to keeping it, but if we lose it, it's going to happen because we lost districts in places like New York and California, which seems crazy. But the problem was people in New York and California didn't have anything to be excited about. They didn't have a close race like Pennsylvania or Georgia. So they were kind of slept and they didn't really come out as much. But seems like the crime issue did get people a little scared in New York to come out and defend Kathy Hochul. But what happened was, just to say real quickly, is we gerrymandered the hell out of New York. We went hard in the paint to the point where we were equalizing the number of seats that we were losing due to the census. And the court struck it down, sadly. I don't know exactly what transpired, but the courts struck down our gerrymandered maps, and we ended up having more even maps, which is good in the long run. But in the short term, it made them more competitive, and the Republicans took advantage.
Yeah, I think we need to gerrymander way harder. Way hard. We can have a lot more fun than we are right now. Was it in Michigan where it was something like 52% of people voted blue, but like 30% of represented candidates were blue? Most states are gerrymandered in favor of Republicans. Oh, that was Wisconsin. That was a Wisconsin. Let me see. My internet's still being a little bit wacky. Wisconsin gerrymander results. Where did I find that from?
My chat is saying Wisconsin.
Is it Wisconsin? Okay, probably Wisconsin then. Yeah, I'll find this later. I probably shouldn't try to look stuff up on the fly because I am really bad at doing that while keeping conversation. Still, it is definitely a problem. It feels like there are a couple of insurmountable walls we have to get over, one of which is the elimination of the Electoral College in order for this country to have a fair democracy again.
True. Yeah, I mean, look, ultimately, we want to get rid of gerrymandering. Democrats have supported nationwide independent commissions. So each state has to appoint like 5 Democrats, 5 Republicans, and 2 independents to come up with even maps to make them more competitive. It's good in the long run because then you have to appeal to a wider group of people, a more general group of people to win office, and instead of, being more and more to the right or to the left. But in the short term, it's tough because we're the only side that's fighting for that. The other side doesn't want to. They want to gerrymander all day.
Yeah,
And they did in Florida.
The problem is, even if you have an independent commission and you have Democrats on that commission, those Democrats are cucks. That's the real problem. Like, Republicans are going to go on there full on ready to like steal every vote they can in the slimiest possible way. And Democrats, because they're so like, driven towards, reconciliation and, we go high when they go low. Like, I don't know if I trust Democrats to be as slimy as they need to be to undo all the the terrible stuff that's been done by Republicans when it comes to like state level politics.
It's a fair criticism. We are a lot nicer, and they tend to get nastier. But I think we can do it. I think we can work together with some more moderate Republicans. I know it sounds crazy, but I think they're going to have to get rid of that cancer that is MAGA and their party now. This was a huge gut check for Trump and that whole MAGA wing of things. I mean, they got their ass whooped on Tuesday.
Yeah, but that's probably for our detriment in the long run, right? Because Donald Trump was the populist who excited the party and got them, energized. But Ron DeSantis will be the guy they want to bring the hammer down on democracy. The big crunch for them, right, is moving the electorate over to supporting DeSantis when before, like, they were so Trump heavy. And I don't know if they're going to be able to do that successfully, or at least without like a lot of losses on the way. But like if DeSantis ever becomes president, I think that's the death knell for the country. I don't know if we get a 2026 after that.
Damn. Well, I think he's scary. Don't get me wrong, and he's got some wild policies down there in Florida. But I have high hopes that becoming president kind of moderates somebody. I even thought Trump would kind of move to the center a little bit.
I don't know why you would think that. That's what Hindenburg thought about Adolf Hitler when he appointed him as chancellor. That's not a historically good strategy for keeping the far right in line. They want power, right?
Yeah, no, fair enough. I just think that I think most people in America are moderate and they don't want extreme things. And Trump, as a master criminal, went in there and took advantage of their trust and pushed things as far as he could with no scruples. But they've got the challenge on their hands to get rid of him. If they can, I think that they can moderate a bit. I know it's not what people want to hear, but I do think that we can meet in the middle and solve our nation's problems.
But they don't want to moderate. All the Republican talking points have gotten more radical, and Republican voters have as well. They don't feel like they've been cheated by Donald Trump. They've moved over to pass the positions Donald Trump had when he was made president in 2016. Like in 2016, Donald Trump, when he was like running as a candidate, he held up the LGBT flag. He talked about how he didn't even oppose gay marriage. Nowadays, like, no Republican could run for federal office and say that, because the whole party is convinced the country is being controlled by a bunch of groomer trans people. I don't think they're going to moderate. Like the fascist party, it moves to the point where it's either assimilation or destruction. You have to cut off those problems at the root.
Well, but I mean, that messaging did not win them votes last night or on Tuesday in the midterms. And they got destroyed when it should have been a layup for them, where they may not even have the House. And it's looking like they're probably not going to have the Senate. So I wonder, though, if they've got to change their messaging moving forward, because they have now lost 3 elections in a row, 2018, 2020, and now 2022. Something's got to change. They have to bring it back to the center. You don't think?
Well, they will, though, right? Moore v. Harper. The Supreme Court will have the opportunity to give Republican legislators the ability to unilaterally decide the rules for how candidates are elected in the states in which Republicans have legislative control. That would probably be enough if just a few of those states fully consolidated their abilities to prevent Democrats from winning in any federal elections. You know, at the very least, Republicans would be able to hold the presidency because they would be able to cement in new rules for the state electors for the Electoral College.
Well, we have to see. I'm not familiar with the pros and the the arguments and who's going to win that one. It doesn't seem as clear as like Dobbs versus the Mississippi case.
You got to look at that. It's critical.
Sure.
They're hearing on it just next month. The Republicans are pretty openly anti-democracy at this point, but it seems like if that goes through, we did pick up some state legislators this time. 4,
Yes.
I think, which is pretty dope. That wouldn't be enough to change things if they affirmed the independent state legislator theory, but yeah, it could get pretty bad potentially.
Yeah, like Michigan was a real bright spot. That was people were stoked. I mean, Gretchen Whitmer was under threat of re-election as well. There was a lot of people out there thought maybe she wouldn't survive, but she had a great night as well as the legislature. So I don't know. You know me, I'm always going to focus on the positive stuff.
No, I get that. I get that.
Yeah.
But they could also just literally kill us if they wanted, right? I mean, with Nancy Pelosi's husband, right? Some lunatic tried to axe her, got him, and they immediately turned it into a joke, which is like what you would do if you kind of want people to keep doing that, right? Like you don't want to get your constituency in a position where they're like actively sad about the idea of Pelosi getting iced, you know?
Well, you don't think that was a gay lovers quarrel in the middle of the night?
No, I'm afraid not. I've yet to be convinced of that one.
All right. Well, who knows? We don't know all the details yet. No, that was violent. That was wild. What happened to the guy? Getting popped in the head twice, waking up in a pool of blood 3 minutes later.
Yeah, it was an assassination attempt, albeit the doomed one, on the third in line to the presidency. I mean, but immediately Republicans were like, "Oh yeah, we're just going to treat this like a joke. Like we're just going to flagrantly lie about this because they want people to assassinate left-leaning candidates, right? Like that's to their political benefit, you know."
Yeah, it's definitely dangerous. Obviously it could happen to them too. I mean, if somebody broke into Donald Trump's house and hit Melania in the head with a hammer, I'd be pretty shocked and horrified. And I would hope people on our side would be as well and not make jokes. So, but who knows?
Oh, liberals would just be besides themselves.
You think?
I'm sure, because liberals don't have like the assassination of their opponents as part of the game plan, right?
True. That's true. Okay, so what about best case scenario here for our country? It sounds very doom and gloom over here. There's got to be some positive outlook here. There's got to be something that keeps you going. What's got you fired up then?
Well,
what about this Maxwell Frost guy in Florida? What about him?
So I own a lot of guns, and I like Maxwell. I'm pretty sure that my canvassing people did some calls for him. If not, I remember talking about him on the streams before. I mean, he's the youngest guy in Congress. He's hip and fresh. That's great.
Yep.
He's like the one Democrat in Florida right now. So Godspeed to him. No, I'm happy about stuff like that. The squad got a good boost in its numbers. I think the two things that I'm optimistic about are Trump might self-destruct the Republican Party, which could be pretty funny, and I guess there's a slight chance Biden could like hold mass trials for sedition at some point. Things that have to get pretty wacky for that to happen, though.
Dang. Okay. Well, I think Trump's definitely getting indicted pretty soon. It seems like the walls are closing in on his criminal cases. They flipped one of his close advisors, Kash Patel, who said he declassified everything. So I think it's just a matter of time. That might actually help solve some problems in our country, don't you think?
Fuck, at this point, no, I don't think I want him to get indicted. I think I want him to stay free because he needs to be free to challenge DeSantis. I don't know.
Oof.
There's not really much of a historical precedent for the wealthy and powerful really going to jail. I mean, what do you got people like Epstein, I guess. I don't know.
Well,
right now, I don't know, because one of my big hopes is like if Trump stays free, I'm kind of hoping like he declares a holy war on DeSantis, and kind of nukes the GOP from within, because DeSantis is the people the party leaders of the Republicans really want to win, because he's a more controllable, less egotistical, fascist. And Donald Trump's just a narcissist. But a lot of people in the party are Trump loyalists. So I don't know. It might be able to tear things apart. If Trump dies or gets put in jail before then, it would make it. Trump would probably still talk shit about DeSantis even if he was in jail. Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I think Trump might be the first person to run for president from what do you call it, ADX Florence, the maximum security prison. But who
God bless
knows?
America. Though, if a billionaire or even former billionaire is ever seen in such a place, I'll eat my hat. One of my hats. I'll eat a beanie. Um, and we'll see how this goes. Is it confirmed that he's going to be speaking at one of the Jan 6 committee hearings, by the way?
He hasn't committed to coming to a hearing, but there aren't going to be any more hearings. I mean, they have like 7 weeks until the new Congress is sworn in, and if the Republicans take over, they're going to yeet the January 6th Select Committee right away. But it would be wonderful. He has an invite, he has a subpoena to come in anytime he wants and get under oath and tell his side of the story.
Isn't it? Why can't they just make him do that though? Like now, couldn't they just make him do that now?
Well, I mean, so all they can do is hold him in contempt of a subpoena if he doesn't show up, and they're trying to work with him, because they have to think about the future. Like, what will they try to do to us? Will they subpoena our guys and try to, the precedent is important.
Yeah, they'll kill you.
Well, who knows, right? So, but I think they're being careful, but they have issued a subpoena. They haven't voted on it by the whole House, but the committee has recommended it, and they've requested documents as well. So they're trying to work with him, and they've given him an invite. So we'll see what happens. I don't know. You think he would show up?
On his own, no. I mean, there's no way, right? He can't. His lawyers would never let him, because there's no way he wouldn't perjure himself like every other sentence. He's not capable.
True.
He would immediately. Yeah, I don't think he would show. I mean, they should have voted on this a long time ago. Maybe they hold him in contempt or whatever. But this is hardly like if they voted on subpoena him now, it wouldn't be like that'd be like a fraudulent subpoena or whatever. This is a pretty legitimate framework by which you could subpoena him. I don't know why they wouldn't have done it by now. They're so weak. They're so weak. I don't know why they don't do anything.
Well, I think these things just take time, and they have to give him a chance to respond and see if he will. And then if he doesn't, then they'll send it to the DOJ, and it'll be up to them to decide if they want to charge him like they did with Bannon recently, and maybe send him to prison and find him there. I don't know. It's like Congress doesn't have a lot of teeth with that. They're more about oversight. And yeah, they have contempt of Congress so they can charge you, but they can't put you in prison for years and years for ignoring them, unfortunately. Most people cooperate.
Pass that on to the DOJ immediately. Well, that's the nice thing with the Republican Party, right? Like, that's the thing that gets their voters energized. They can do anything they want because they just don't care about procedure. That's the thing. With Democrats, it's always like, 87 hoops you got to jump through because they're following every instruction left by the ghost of 1,000 white men. But Republicans will just do anything that comes at the top of their head. DeSantis has done a ton of shit that he shouldn't have been able to as governor of Florida, which he'll continue to do if he becomes president. Like he won't. It'll be like one of the, oh, well, you can't do that, sir. How dare you? And then he just does it and throws his opponents in jail. So it would be good to keep that from happening. Yeah, maybe it's for the best that Trump stays free. I don't know. We'll see how the GOP turns out.
Well, as far as 2024 goes, yeah, it would be the best person to have opposite Biden on the ballot. What about Biden? Do you want to see Biden run again, or do you want to see someone else step up to the plate?
If Biden dies, do you think that would energize the Democrats to find someone younger? I don't know. I don't want Kamala Harris either. Fuck.
Well, I don't think he's going to die anytime soon. He's like riding a bike on the beach and stuff, and he's giving pretty long speeches. He seems pretty healthy.
Yeah, maybe in some respects. I hope he doesn't run again. I mean, he has to. He's going to run again. The Democrats are so. The problem with the Democrats is that like the answers. Let's like screaming at them. The Democrats should be led by a populist right now. The Republicans are. Trump is one. DeSantis isn't as much as one, but he pretends, whatever. But the Democrats, because it's a bunch of like 87-year-old, party bureaucrats that are making these decisions. It's all like, oh yeah, they're grooming Pete Buttigieg, people like Kamala Harris. It really should have been, like a more energetic candidate. AOC's too young, I mean, and Bernie's now at this point too old. But I don't think like there hasn't really been a consolidated effort to identify viable candidates internally. You know what I mean? I mean, who would you pick?
Me? You're going to hate this answer, but I would pick Gavin Newsom, governor of California. I think he's got the energy, he's got the fight, and he's got pretty progressive policies that he could enact on a federal level if he went for it.
I
No?
No, I don't necessarily disagree. I think that Gavin would be
Ooh.
better than a lot of other people. I'd prefer him over Pete and Kamala. That's for sure.
Yeah, me
Uh,
too.
yeah. Um, yeah.
Well, but what I mean,
God.
is there any progressive out there? First of all, AOC, no way. I don't think she could even win statewide in New York, let alone federal. But progressives are kind of hurting though. John Fetterman is very progressive. He'll be the like third most progressive senator behind Bernie and Warren, and maybe there's a future there. He's going to recover. I understand he did not do well on the stage. That was hard to watch, but he's a stroke victim and he's recovering. So supposedly in a couple months he'll be much, much better. What do you think about President Fetterman?
Oh, I mean that down the line, maybe I want a hoodie and shorts president. That right there. If ever there was a proletarian state, it would be one ruled by a guy in a hoodie and shorts. And plus, during the presidential debates, he could simply walk over and break his opponent in half, like Bane over his knee, which would be, like a powerful move, I think. That's good politics. There are people in my chat who are saying Katie Porter, who, it's not the worst candidate, I guess. I don't know.
She's trying to survive her House reelection race right now.
What about Beto O'Rourke? How many losses do you think the man can go through consecutively before he ends it all?
I think he ran a pretty good race in Texas, but it's tough, man. He had a great debate versus Greg Abbott. Did you watch a bunch of the debates, or how did you handle all that this season?
I saw some of it off stream. I never cared that much about Beto because I can't get much enthusiasm up for like an anti-gun guy, much less in Texas. But no, I don't think he's that bad of a politician. I think he just keeps crippling himself by I mean, anti-gun politician in Texas, right? You're basically axing out any independent support there. So it's, he made things hard for himself.
I don't know about the anti-gun stuff though, because Biden keeps saying that I want to get the ban on assault rifles again, right? He keeps saying that over and over and over again, and he was not punished for that in these midterms.
Well, he's running nationally, not for Texas, but yeah. I mean, the anti-gun stuff on the part of the Democrats has always been something that I've been pretty opposed to. So, but I guess a lot of Americans like it. I don't know. In Texas, it's especially bad. The only thing worse would be in one of those, like, I don't know, doing that in like North Dakota or some shit. You know what I mean? Some place where like a third of the people there have shotguns. I don't know.
Yeah, fair enough. I just, the gun reform bill that they passed on a federal level was pretty good. It shored up red flag laws so they can be enforced and increased scrutiny for people under 21 to buy weapons. I mean, do you have a problem with that as far as
no, I'm fine
accessing juvenile records for people to buy like rifles and such?
No, I'm okay with those laws. I think the
because that's what we mean when we mean like gun control, that kind of stuff.
Purchase wait time, I'm fine. No, because these cucks over here on the West Coast keep telling me that I can't own a 100-round magazine, which God would have wanted me to own, and also the founding fathers.
There's no shot you support owning a 100 round
the
magazine.
First rifle,
no shot.
The first rifle I got, which you can see the barrel of right back there, the guy said like, "Hey, do you want a drum mag? We have one drum mag in the shop. I'll give it to you for an extra 60." And I didn't want a drum mag because it looked like truck nuts for my gun. I should have gotten that before they passed the fucking law to make it illegal.
Okay, I have to fight with you a little bit about the gun stuff here, because I know you were saying like people need to start arming up, right? Because of the trans genocide stuff, right?
Oh, for a variety of reasons, It's pretty bad.
I'm concerned about introducing a gun into people's homes because the suicide rate goes up, the accidental shooting rate goes up. Like, how do you respond to that?
Oh yeah, owning firearms, statistically speaking, increases the likelihood of you being hurt by them in a neutral setting.
Yes.
In a peaceful liberal democracy where nothing is going wrong and there isn't political instability, it does nothing but add an average increase in likelihood to self or projected harm.
Okay.
My worry isn't with stuff like that. It's with, more substantial political developments that I'd be concerned with.
Okay, so it's a matter of just protecting yourself from the authorities, because I feel like even the local police is so militarized at this point that they all have APCs and they'll just crash it into the side of your house and burn it down like Waco.
Now, well, my worry is more like back during the BLM riots in places like Portland, there were some far-right militias who who wandered on into the city. See, I live in Washington. Washington and Oregon are like 2 or 3 blue cities surrounded by neo-Nazis and far-right militia. You know,
Mm,
the hills, the eastern parts of these states are full of like not just red, but like deep red. And a lot of these people are like secessionists. They're the like Cascadia types where they want like an all white like Pacific Northwest. And a lot of these people have armories, and there are forums that you can look at where you can see them talk with each other, and they kind of fantasize about rolling on into the cities armed and like putting us down. And the reason for that is because they feel like they're occupied. Like all the political stuff in Washington, is kind of dictated by Seattle and Tacoma and shit. And they
right.
feel like, yeah, we're the real Washington. And it's just this one or two like liberal hotspots that are the issue. And they talk and they are incredibly well armed. If ever there was any like real political instability, like an attempt, like a real coup or anything like that, I worry about folks like that going into blue cities and just trying to like occupy areas. That happens pretty often when you take a look at violent coups in other countries. If you take a look at like what happened in Myanmar, or like the way the temporary like white supremacist occupation of Bolivia went down, there's usually like the hope that we have the military and police, but also like the radicalized citizens will be the bulwark, like they'll be the first wave, and they'll go into the cities and towns, and they'll basically, like, let's be real, they'll gun down like black people, and they'll find local leaders and execute them. It's happened before elsewhere, and if it happened here, I think that I think it would be certainly a lot better if people here were capable of defending themselves.
Yeah, no, I feel you. I just feel like we're a long way away from that. If on the internet the rhetoric's real hot, and yeah, there is stuff happening out there, but it just seems like cooler heads prevail in the end, and I'd like to see people just get more involved instead of thinking that the end is near. That's just my thoughts
Well, you
on
got to
it.
do both, but keep in mind we just got a 50.1 to 49.9, and the other party has fully backed the idea that Donald Trump won the last election and that Biden is an illegitimate president. Like like we're celebrating because we barely held a line against another party that is fully consolidated behind like an insurrectionist narrative. I wouldn't be complacent is all. Maybe nothing would happen, and if nothing happens, God, I hope that's the case. That'd be a lot easier, huh?
Well, but then I go back to my point that like they have suffered defeats because of taking on these talking points and this position. And I don't think they're going to keep doing that. I think they're going to realize that we've got to abandon this line of thinking because we're not winning elections here. We've lost 3 major elections in a row. And so you don't think they're going to pivot at all?
No, I don't. No.
Mm.
The past couple of years, all they've done is gotten more radical. They lost in 2020, and all they did was get more radical. I mean, they did a coup attempt, and then they've all defended that coup attempt. And since then, they've only continued to repeat or exacerbate all those tendencies. I don't think they're going to back off. I just think they're going to use whatever means they have to disenfranchise people who disagree with them, like with the Morvey Harper thing. And eventually the Democratic element won't even matter, I think. It'll just be them winning will just be a formality. And after that, it's kind of a pretty bad situation
Okay.
to be in.
So then let me ask you this, and you may not have the answer, but I'm just kind of curious. Like, so how do we fix it then? Like, what do you look forward to? Like, what do you think is a path to go down to put us on the right footing? Like, how do we fix it, I guess, is the ultimate question in your eyes.
Well, the big one is that the Republican Party would have to make a mistake that the Democrats capitalized on. Like a big one would be like mass arrests for sedition. I think you could easily justify that right now. A lot of people in office right now openly supported a coup attempt, an attempt at murdering public officials to prevent them from enacting the legal processes of the United States. This is definitionally sedition. But the Democrats are n- weak. The Republicans have to give them like a really big in, and that's why they want DeSantis over Trump. Trump's an idiot and would give them an in, I think, as he very nearly did with Jan 6. DeSantis would be a bit more careful, and I think that Dems would have like no chance against that because they're not like aggressive enough.
Hmm.
Um, so my hope is that essentially the Republicans make a big mistake. That's my big hope. And that can be capitalized on. If the Morvey Harper thing doesn't go through, they don't reaffirm the independent state legislator theory, that would also be really good. It might give us even more time. It might give us all the way to 2028. In the long run, though, I don't think the Republican Party will ever get more moderate on its own. It'll have to take like an ousting of those in power or some kind of like crackdown of insurrectionary activity, I think, to really facilitate that. And even then, I don't know. I mean, Reconstruction 2, Electric Boogaloo, I guess, but
Oh,
it's a
wow.
wacky time to be alive, you know?
Wow. Well, listen, I just think that because they got clapped, that they're going to have to pivot a bit here. It seems like we disagree on that, but I think they've got to drop this nastiness towards trans youth and start focusing on fixing our nation's problems and abandon some of this culture war. It seems like we disagree that they're going to do that,
Well,
which I respect.
they've said they won't. Ron DeSantis and a lot of prominent Republican pundits have already said like the culture war is good, which it is. It is good for them.
But they lost. They lost these midterms.
That's fine. Hitler only had like 30% support when he took over. They just need the right legal wedges, you know? The Supreme Court one, that's a big one. You know, you really should look at that because that's such a dangerous like in for them, you know? But depending on how that goes, you know, I can't predict the future, of course. I wish they would moderate, you know. I mean, I don't want to live through history. I don't think anyone really does, but it's there are so many historical examples of like once you reach this point, like things are going to happen whether you want them to or not, you know? Like the idea that we're not at the end of history, you know? Like countries fall, countries burn. Even the United States can. So it's good to be prepared for that. I'm not saying that in the meantime we shouldn't participate electorally. I mean, we did with the PV22 people that I worked with. They filled over 7,000 volunteer slots. You know, there were conference calls done between my community and Summer Lee. The electoral stuff is still vital, but it's good to be prepared in case things
Well,
get really bad.
I guess I have to ask, like, what keeps you going? Like, what keeps you interested? What keeps you like? There's got to be something that you're like, dude, this is gonna work out. Is there nothing there? Like, there's got to be something.
What if you could have asked somebody this in the early 30s Germany and they told you they had no answer? Would you think that a loss on their part? Sometimes just living is a solution after all. If things get really bad here, and I do think they will, you know, you hope for better times. And sometimes you just have to wait for things to burn themselves out. I'm certainly not capable of single-handedly beating back American fascism. And if things ever do get really, really bad here, you and me will be first up on the chopping block. They go after
You
media
think?
people. Oh, they go after media people first. Yeah. Look at the Nazis, the Spanish, the Italians. The first people fascist regimes go after before the homosexuals or the Jews or the trans people or anyone, it's opposition media. Why wouldn't they, right? That makes sense to go after them first. And we do count. In the new world, we do fit that purview. Makes me wonder that even if we did flee America, if America maintained extradition treaties with other countries, would that mean that almost anywhere in the world we went to, they would just charge us from afar and we would be forced back to be brought and executed? That would be
Well,
unfortunate.
if they could get us, sure, they could charge us. Well, I don't disagree with that. They would go after the voices, but I think they go after obviously marginalized communities would be trampled first before anybody.
Well, we'd be close together. Either way. Again, there's still plenty to look forward to here. You know, even if we must one day, you know, have to escape to Cuba, I don't believe that the Republican Party is competent enough to maintain like a long-term stranglehold on the United States.
Okay. What about this? What about this civil war has just started within the Republican Party now? Trump is firing shots on DeSantis. What if DeSantis swings back? He seems to have like the Murdoch empire behind it. What if they destroy each other? They drag down the entire Republican Party with them. 2024, we get a huge mandate from the American people, and we have like another, let's say we get up to like 60 votes in the Senate, and we take the House back, and Joe Biden sails to victory, and all sorts of progressive policies are now being implemented, like permanent child tax credit and paid family leave, and you know, universal pre-K, 2 years of it. Would this not give you hope?
Well, sure. If a bunch of great things happen, then I'd love that. Yeah, but
Okay.
you know, I think that there's a very strong fascist sentiment in the country that even if the Republican Party had like a sort of tore itself apart with infighting, I don't think it would get rid of that sentiment. Something like something like 40% of the country still does believe that Biden didn't actually win the 2020 election, you know? If you take a look at there's a bunch of metrics that you can look at, but a good portion of this country is at the very least fascist oriented when it comes to their voting
Well,
tendencies. They'll
wait.
consolidate themselves behind whichever candidate is available to channel their energies, you know?
Well, but I see a lot of these people as victims. I don't know if you're going to like to hear this, but I see a lot of these people as brainwormed victims, and they're willing to listen to whatever's told to them. But I don't see them as like perpetuators of the fascism. They're just marching in line because they're following orders. They're being told what to think, what to do. You
Well,
don't,
sure, but
you,
they're both, right? They're victims
well,
of an exploitative system and propaganda, but that doesn't mean they won't then vote for people who would have me killed.
but
They're
we can brainwash them the other way. No?
sure, but liberals are terrible at media control. If you
Uh,
take a look at basically any form of the dissemination of information, right? Like it's either neutral or right-wing controlled in most cases. CNN has said they're going to try to be more center-leaning and have started bringing on like far-right people to talk. Fox News is huge compared to MSNBC. The top pundits are like a list of Republicans, like Tucker Carlson and down. YouTube has been found to have a conservative bias for its recommendations. Seriously, make a new account on YouTube, watch one like Family Guy top moments video, and it's just going to be recommendations of like Jordan Peterson and like you know, lib triggered Family Guy top moments, and it's like all the racist jokes they've ever made, you know? Twitter is currently owned by Elon Musk. TikTok is owned by the Chinese, and the Chinese government is fascist, and they've banned or blocked or shadow banned queer content creators in the past, leaning towards a sort of popular centric but still right tinted app. Unfortunately, right, like fascism aligns with capital, and capital is where social media lies. And I just think there are powerful systemic biases towards fascism in this country right now. It doesn't have to be that way. I hope that it changes, you know?
well, as long as there's that little nugget of hope is all I can ask for. I can't tell you what's going to happen in the future, and I always hope for the best. You know what I mean? I'm
Yeah.
always going to keep fighting until the very end, until they come knock on my door and drag me away, you know?
No, I agree. And I watch you quietly from afar, from the comfort of your chat. And I like your coverage. But I don't this isn't like a doomer thing for me, you know? If America falls to fascism, which it might, that happens sometimes, but it doesn't mean that the work is over, right? There were people who left, I mean, worst case scenario, right? There were people who left Nazi Germany and then returned to it after the war and participated in the reconstruction of its democracy. Life continues onward no matter what direction things take, and I want to participate in that process. So I'm not suggesting people check out. In fact, I fight with my chat on this because there are people in chat who are like, "Oh, so you're saying it's over?" Well, nothing's ever actually over, right? I mean, eventually we'll die, but then other people will have their own stories. Um, there's always value in engaging with this stuff. So don't take what I'm saying as like doomerism or anything. I'm just very concerned about anti-democratic tendencies in this country.
Yeah, that's why I kept asking, how do we fix it? What's the path to putting us on the right path? But I know we'll disagree on, you know, the capitalism part of it. I always tell people, and I think I mentioned this to you last time we talked, that like, let's get to Bernie's version of capitalism. Let's get to AOC's version of capitalism, and then I think it'll be easier to convince people to take the next step. Do you disagree on that?
Well, I do think the fascists have relied on austerity and poor economic conditions to push their message. Oh, I mean, the Nazis did that. Yeah, I mean, of course, it was, you know, the humiliation of World War I and the Great Depression that allowed for the conditions, you know, the sense of emasculation that Hitler played on with his speeches. So I do fully agree. I mean, of course, I'd love to push towards at least social democracy. Obviously, my long-term ambitions are a little bit more radical than that, but um, my main concern right now is the anti-fascist bent, right? Even if we're dealing with very basic liberal laissez-faire capitalism, that is preferable to fascism by an enormous amount. So I'm fully okay with like a what do you call it? Like a shared line, like a shared front. I've said to my chat, there is no left v liberal discourse right now. It's basically just those who are good at fighting fascism and those who aren't.
Yeah, fair enough. Listen, one of the number one issues why people came out to vote on Tuesday was democracy. They were concerned that we were headed in the wrong direction. And so I think there's a lot of people who want to fight, there's a lot of people who are concerned about that and agree with you that we are headed down the wrong road and we need to push back. So does that give you any hope at all that democracy was one of the number one issues why people came out along with abortion?
Yeah. It's the most critical one. I know that Biden also, there are a couple other things. Biden a couple months ago met with some historians about the historical parallels between what we're dealing with right now and what other countries in the past have dealt with when it comes to the rise in far-right populism, and also the White House intervening to stop the four-star general appointment of that one general who was the main reason why it took a while for the National Guard to show up during January 6th. I forget what his name was. It's very unusual for the White House to intervene to deny a long-standing and decorated military leader their four-star general appointment. And it makes me wonder if the Biden administration knows that the Pentagon might soon involve themselves in preventing a coup, and they want to make sure the brass at the Pentagon are politically sympathetic. That would be nice, At the end of the day, who actually gets to run the country is decided by the military in all countries. So having a favorable, political leadership, if that's something that Biden has on the mind, that makes me a lot more optimistic than I might otherwise be.
Do you think that's true for America too, that the military controls?
Oh yeah, for sure. If they,
because we do have civilian leadership of our military with the defense secretary.
Oh sure, if they, I mean, if they wanted to, they could just reduce every living person in DC to a bloody homogenate and then just take control. What are we going to do? Stuff like that does happen, usually in countries that are a bit less complicated than us politically, but it could happen here. It could always happen. I mean, the goal is like building systems to disincentivize that, right? Like make it so there's always a better way. My guess would more be like, if there was a coup, it would be Republicans working with militia groups and some contingents of like state militias, like DeSantis has tried to move the Florida National Guard to his control, like an executive thing. And if they did anything coup like there, it would be like, well, would the Pentagon step in, or would they like let the Republicans just take it away, And that would be my concern. You have to hope that they'd be willing to step in and defend the Constitution.
Man, listen, I know I'm lib-brained, okay, but I think we're so far away from anything like that happening. I look at SEAL Team 6 that was there on January 6th trying to run through movements and stuff, and it was just embarrassing. Like we're destroying the Oath Keepers right now with these trials. You mentioned mass trials. Well, we've got the Oath Keepers. We're destroying these little militia groups.
That's true, and they may do poorly in the legal arenas they're put into, but they don't need to survive trials. They would just need to off representatives, and they would have served their purpose for the Republican Party, right? We're not there yet, of course. But with the recent attempted assassination on Pelosi being effectively endorsed by the Republican Party, them essentially backing. I mean, Charlie Kirk said that a patriot should pay the bail of the man who tried to kill Pelosi. Head of
That's pretty gross.
TPUSA. It's not gross. They're pro-assassination. That's their politics. Really, that's like the default, This high-minded liberal, oh, we shouldn't kill our opponents. That's like a very recent, this is a hoity-toity thing. Most of human history, that's been pretty much the default way of responding to opposition politically. The fascists are returning to tradition in the worst way here, but we have to remember that's on the table for them, And keeping that in mind, I'm just saying we should keep it in mind. We should just know, like, they will do that. And if we don't accept that, then we'll be surprised by it. Now, I hope the Democrats are aware of this, at least.
Well, I think they are aware of the fear of something like that happening. I mean, I think that's why they're going so hard on January 6th. I know it's moving a little slowly for some people's taste, but I think in the end, they're going to hold people accountable for that and hopefully prevent something larger from happening. But obviously, you've laid out a few scenarios that nobody can stop from happening if they're going to happen. I don't know. I don't have a great answer for that kind of stuff. You've given a lot of scenarios that a lot of could-haves, a lot of what ifs.
I can't see the future. I think the Pentagon is favorable to us right now, though. I think the Pentagon. I don't think the Pentagon would go along with anything at the moment, which is why
Yeah.
I'm happy with what Biden did. It's really just a matter of like the extent to which Democrats are willing to defend themselves against these efforts to undermine democratic rule, which so far they've been weak against, right? Um, the uh,
Well,
the
well,
Supreme
but can
Court
I
of them.
push back?
Sure.
Can I push back and just say, why not get involved? Why not get in there and take over the existing infrastructure and get more involved? Because it seems like the only chance. Why do you choose to be on the outside?
No, I'm fine with that. Like I said, I've got thousands and thousands of people in my community to volunteer and canvas. I'm fully in favor of that. I'm not going to run for
Well,
office,
but you say like the Democrats creating a distance between like you and them, like they're a separate entity. Why not just become part of them?
Well, they're liberals. I'd rather die.
No,
No,
really?
no, 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 no. I'm critical support for the anti-fascism here, but I'm a socialist. The Democrats are half responsible for the mess we're in right now. Liberal abstemiousness is the bedrock of fascist growth. I
But
understand that
there's
right now the Republicans are the primary threat, but it is a them thing. Politically, I have been very much against the moves the Democrats have made to facilitate this. But I'm still happy to work with them and uh, canvas and so on. I'm not opposed to any of that. I encourage my audience to and to run.
Well, yeah, and again, I'm not trying to give you a hard time here. I just think like the infrastructure is there. Why not get in there and push them further to the left, similar to like Bernie or AOC or any of these characters?
Well, I try to,
Yeah.
but I'm not against any of that. I don't think there's anything mutually exclusive between saying we should move people left within the system that exists, but also be aware of the threat rising fascism poses.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I guess my main concern, and I'll leave you alone about it, but was the encouraging of people to buy guns. That concerns me, and it's not to you personally, but just introducing a gun into anybody's home is a very could be very dangerous, right? And for a perhaps far off conflict, I don't know if it's worth it because it could endanger someone, and especially people in the trans community who have like a high suicide rate, and and it's just kind of seems a little scary to me.
Well, I do encourage proper gun safety and for people to be mindful of their mental health when they consider buying it. Um, of course, it very much like encouraging somebody to buy a car if it's available to them. This is something which statistically increases the likelihood of them dying. But I think it's important to understand the outsized benefits of these decisions. Right now, there are groups of people who already have guns and they hate us and they want us dead. If ever there was a reason to buy a gun, it would probably be to, at the very least, discourage any kind of armed mass action against liberal areas or cities or the like. Um, you don't know. I mean, when the BLM riots were happening, those Patriot Prayer fucks or whatever, like those guys with their pickup trucks with the AR-15s rolling on into liberal cities. You can take a look at their internal chats. A lot of their Telegram logs have been leaked. You know what those guys are talking about? We're talking tens or even hundreds of thousands of people in rural areas outside of major liberal cities. You know what they talk about with each other? They're not talking to each other about keeping the peace. They fantasize about gunning down black people. They dream of the day of the rope. They dream of driving into liberal inner city areas and emptying their magazines into large crowds of Democrat voters. This isn't like a hypothetical. The As a product of the internet, you can actively see them wanting to do these things. And in an environment like that, I think it's irresponsible to not say to my audience, depending on where you are in this country, there's a very real possibility that in your lifetime, given higher levels of political instability, the area you're in might legit become a conflict zone. And if it is, do you want the only people with guns to be people who are coming there to kill you? I certainly think not. They're dangerous tools. I don't deny that. But I don't lie to my audience about that either. I hope anyone who listens to me talk about it knows that just owning a gun does put your life on a bit of a lower timer.
No, fair enough. And again, I'm not trying to give you grief about it. You're way more involved in the community than I am. I genuinely was curious your position on that, and that's why I wanted to say my thoughts on it. But I walk through life in a privileged way, so I don't know. And so I agree with you. If I was in a hostile area, yeah, I would definitely want to have a weapon with me. So I hear you on that. Trust me, and I'm open. I'm not trying to shut you down or anything.
No, I get my main problem is like the jerk offy gun culture. You know what I mean? Like people are
Yeah.
like, oh, if you have a gun, the burglar will come in, you'll shoot the burglar, and that's brain dead. You know, that doesn't really happen. You know, like go and open carry. So when you're getting your Starbucks iced coffee at Target or something, like in case a ninja warrior squad bursts in, like a lot of gun culture is about getting these people like real paranoid about interpersonal interactions, you know? Is this guy going to hurt me? Is this guy in a subway going to shoot me? And I think that's all bullshit. We should be trusting and loving with each other, and presume good. I more mean like, you know, if things get really bad and you hear on the news like, oh yeah, downtown Seattle is just like a fucking shooting range right now. You know, something like that. Like it's more of like a if a big event happens. Because I think that on a day-to-day basis, I don't want to see guns like ever, you know? My dream of gun ownership is like cracking open the community armory, you know, in the Soviet style. It's not like everyone has a gun in their house. It's that everyone owns a gun at the armory, which if needed, they go and take guns from. Obviously we don't really have that here, but I think it's a better attitude towards gun ownership, more like civil communal defense and less like I am terrified of a burglar kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
What-
hear people talking about it like that. It's more like machismo or, yeah, defending myself because the cops are going to fail me or something like that.
Yeah,
So
that's
that's
bullshit.
definitely a different view of it. Yeah, that's fair. I appreciate you entertaining me on that topic because I was curious to hear your thoughts on it. But yeah, I won't bother you on it.
No, I'll bother you
Well,
on something. I'm taking a look at your
yeah.
stream right now. Why the fuck does it say the superior pet is, and then you have 7 times as many votes for dogs over cats? What is up with that?
Well, this is a community effort, but I can weigh in on it, and I would say that dogs are superior, and I'll give you my reasoning if you're open to hear it.
Yeah, hit me up.
Number one, it gets me outside. I walk around the block, I say hello to the neighbors. Otherwise, I'm sitting inside talking to myself and never interacting with another human. Number two, there's a possibility I can meet a hottie at the dog park if I bring the dog and let it run around. You know what I mean? Number three, I don't know. They love you no matter what. Cats, it's a gamble. You never know what you're going to get. You get a cat that wants to sit with you, or you get a cat that jumps on you in the middle of the night and claws your head. You know what I mean? So this is my argument for dogs.
I love being clawed up. Hold on, I'm gonna see one of my cats in the bathroom. Hold on. Sorry, I got no cat to show off. I just think cats are cute.
Well, I'm debating to get a cat or a dog. So what do you think? I know you're an owner of 2 cats. Why do you not own a dog? What is it about dogs that you hate, Vosh?
I hate leaving the house. I would never leave the house, even if it killed me. Never. If I
But
had a
don't you
dog,
think
they would just
it's great exercise to walk around the block for 10 minutes. I tell you, I've been doing it without a dog. I go walk around the block after stream, 10 minutes, I get some fresh air. I don't look at my phone, and dog gets you to do that. You don't think that's good?
No, that's good if you're like a healthy, reasonable person. I'm actually very spiteful with my exercise. I go on walks pretty often, but if I felt like I had to go on a walk because a dog was bothering me, I'd hate the dog. I'd think like fucking fine. All right. Oh, I'm gonna go outside, you know? But the cool thing about cats is that they're fucking idiots and they're fat, stupid blobs, and I love them. But my cats are especially good. Not all cats are great.
Yeah.
Oh, cats are also autism coded, and I have autism.
I see. But do your cats tolerate you smothering them with love or what?
No, they do. I have exceptionally good cats. They're very well natured. I feel like I dislike cats a lot more if either of my 2 cats were like even a little bit bad, but they're both amazing.
Do you have that machine that Merrick has for the automatic cat litter circulation?
Automatic cat? What is this bougie shit? No, I scoop it. I just scoop
Oh
out
my
40 pounds
God.
of clay every week.
What the? You're missing out. You need to hit up Merrick and ask her
Wait.
about this like $700 machine she has that just spins the litter.
That is so American. Look. Look.
Oh,
He's purring. Ooh.
what's his name?
That's Artemy. Artemy.
Artemy.
He's purring so hard.
Does he sleep like next to you? What's the situation with
Yeah, I
that?
wake up with him next to me. Yes,
Okay, that's pretty
canoeing.
cute. How
Ooh,
long can you leave him alone?
cats?
Yeah.
Probably like most of the day. I mean, you feed them in the morning and the night, but like they're fine. You know, they won't eat each other.
Well, what is the advantage of a cat? We've talked about how terrible dogs are, but what's the advantage of a cat?
They're cute.
Just cute?
Wait, David, you don't feed me. Wait, my earbud fell out. I can't hear you. Here. Yep. He was napping. Sleepy boy. Wait. Okay, I'm back. Sorry.
I was gonna say, what is the advantage of a cat? But then we've talked about how terrible dogs are, but what's so great about a cat?
I like that they're also autistic. I can stare at them for like 5 minutes, and it's like that drawing of the two autism creatures, and they're doing
Hmm.
autism to autism communication. That's how I feel when I look at them.
Do you feel bad that you're imprisoning them in your home though, or do you let them free or anything?
Nah, you shouldn't have outdoor cats. It decimates the local wildlife population. It's harder for them too. Nah, the cats are permanently happy. They'll start purring if you just look at them. They're definitely they're definitely well situated. You gotta play with them though. You know, you gotta tussle them around. But I love tussling them. I just trim their claws so I don't have that many scratches on my hand. But you know, normally Artemy's got this one all cut up, which is good because you shouldn't be a baby when you're playing with cats. You know, people are like, "Oh, don't scratch me." Well, why wouldn't they scratch you? You're 20 times their size. Let them scratch you. So what?
How did you stop at 2 cats also? Why not get more?
That's a question that my roommate keeps asking me. Um, yeah, the answer might update. I don't know. Guess it really
Wow.
depends on the fervor of my friend Vermin.
And don't you have a reptile in that tank behind you too?
Yeah, there's a bearded dragon right there. There's a
What is the
gargoyle gecko there. 2 crested geckos there. There used to be more, but you know, animals die.
and what is your love for lizards? What's the story there?
Those are all vermins. Um, the bearded dragon is basically a pet rock, and the 2 crested geckos are extremely squishy and very dumb. And I love them. You should
Can they
Google crested gecko. They're very cute.
Okay. Do can they show affection in any way?
No, I think they have one brain cell. I think the only affection you can get from a crested gecko is how panicked they are, but I think that's just their personality. I don't think they even recognize the people who hold them. They're really
Wow.
dumb. They're dumb. They're very dumb. I think they're below that. But crested geckos are very cute.
That's hilarious. Well, listen, thanks for sharing all your thoughts on your pets. I'm not going to take up any more of your time, but it's fun chatting midterms with you and politics. And I know we don't see eye to eye on all of this stuff, but I do see a lot of optimism in the things you're saying. And I'm very optimistic about the future. Like I said, we've got John Fetterman going to the U.S. Senate with some very progressive ideas. We got this 25-year-old in Florida, Maxwell Frost. So I think there's a lot of good stuff to look forward to.
Yeah, I'm going to as I'll be happy as long as Fetterman continues to wear shorts and hoodies into the Senate building. If he cucks out and wears a suit, I'm going to be very disappointed. You know, I know who I got my chat vote for, so we'll see how it goes. It's been a delight to speak with you. I am optimistic about many things in the future. It's just, you know, it's a lot of work to do, you know.
I feel you. Well, I'll check in with you in a bit and we'll go from there.
Yeah, and keep it up. United front. Have a
All
wonderful
right.
evening.
Thanks, Mosh. Have a good one.
Take care. Bye. Dope. What's the meal? Gotcha. Whatever it is, I'll eat it. Probably locale. Thank you. That was fun. I like IRI. I like IRI as well. As you can see, my primary concern with conversations like that is, you know, I'm very insistent. I want everyone to be terrified of death, which is which is no, you know what I mean. I want everyone. I want to get everyone to share my appreciation for the enthusiasm that fascists have for undermining democracies. You know? That's it. I want, you know, it's just an end to history thing, you know? Um, the belief, you know, are we there? You know. Maybe we're there. What are your thoughts on JB Pritzker potentially being elevated as a future candidate nationwide? I think Pritzker is a dumb name, so that's my feeling on it. That's all I care about, really. Out of curiosity, what do you think the safest states to live in would be if things go bad? Well, it wouldn't really be about states. It would be about cities. Cities would be safer than rural areas, and then larger cities would be safer than smaller cities, and then larger cities in blue states would be better. Basically, just the, you know, the bluer an area, the better. Preferably a blue area that's so blue that they can't be overwhelmed by like rural counties or whatever. But if what I think is going to happen, it won't matter what state you're in. Hell yeah, Logical Pretzels. Don't worry, I ain't coming down for you. Happy Cake Day. Sheet pan Dijon onion crunch chicken. How many calories? I can't. Wait, you're wiggling. Why are you wiggling? 730. Ah, that's the rest of my calories for the day. Yeah, that sounds good. Thank you. Nah, it's me. It's me. I had 100 extra earlier. It's my fault. Yeah. Do you think there are influencers outside the US who want fascism to succeed? Do you mean influences? Like influencers like TikTokers? I mean, probably. Yes, there are plenty of influences outside the US. For example, Putin has been the biggest or one of the largest funders of far-right parties around the world for like decades. Yeah, I'll check Sasha. It's fine. It's all good, man. Counting calories for rich people, I simply die of heart disease. Yeah, you wanna make sure you keep the belly fat down just a little bit so that you always have that extra inch to give when you're slamming. You know what I'm saying? You always gotta be careful with that. That's where it counts. All right, what are these links? Here's the meme I've been working on for 2 days. Longer version, the replies. Longer version in the replies. The main video is 2 minutes, 20 seconds long. Doctor Strange. How much time do you think I have? I'm gonna key you guys into a secret, okay? They don't want you to know this. You know what I mean by they, don't you? They are a woman? Yeah, they are a woman. I'm just saying when I saw a photo, I thought they were. Yeah, that's what I mean. I said I would. I'm not gonna piss my pants. When I saw them, I thought they were a woman, but then I said person of indeterminate gender, because I don't fucking know fucking woke left these days. Oh, yeah. Whoa. Then I said, I thought they were a woman. They are a woman. I was right. You don't understand. Frictionless, spherical nose. Okay, I'll let you know when you're on speaker. You're on speaker.
Dude, you can just say no.
Whoa, there's no pussy here? Oh my god. Holy shit. It's not even any fucking pussy. But remember, we're only buying time. You tell them the frictionless spherical house not actually exists, they start crying, they shit themselves, they come a little bit. This is like my fat cock and ass, just naturally better than you fuckers. That's why I'm built different. You guys are all gonna die in a camp. You'll be married to Annabeth Bethical. And Annabeth Bethical lives in Whoopinbibbinshire. Okay. What does her asshole look like? I'm sorry for anyone who came to the stream for serious political analysis. You want to know the truth? Your desire for political analysis, serious political analysis, is almost part of the problem. The fact of the matter is, electoralism is a joke. All it's done is run out the clock. Hope and electoralism has done nothing but give the left and moderate liberals in this country a venue by which they can continue to ignore the looming fact that without serious systemic change, this country is doomed. All we see now is the final frames of a physics animation play out. The clock ticks down to a conclusion we could have predicted decades ago. It's time Further happening. What? uh, that was a fun stream. Link it. Liking and retweeting. It's on my Twitter. New Fetterman just dropped. Holy shit. This is the future of the Democrat Party, okay? We just need a ton of guys who look like the Spider-Man villain Kingpin. Oh my god. Jesus Christ. He's DSA, by the way. He's DSA? Holy shit. Yeah, John Fetterman is like the Andre the Giant but autistic energy, and this guy is like the the bouncer that you have to get through in order to attend the Antifa super soldier meeting energy. Holy fuck, dude. And look. He's going after the rainbow because he hates gays. He's eating it. Yeah. Sorry. Go, 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 go. Whoa. Ooh. No, Artemy, I didn't mean to disturb you. Artemy, no. Wow. Fat. He's purring so hard. Oh no. He just wants the rainbow now. Artemy, I'm streaming. I'm sorry for playing with your expectations. Hold on. We did it, Artemy! Artemy, no! Yes! Well, Chad, how you doing? Woo! Oh yeah? You're gonna fall off, dude. He is so fucking lazy, dude. Holy shit. I can't believe he won't jump down to get this. Artemy, you fat fuck. Artemy, you're so fucking fat. Oh my god. Look at him. He knows. Oh, he's settling. All right, we're fine. Artemy, you. Wow. Okay, sorry. All right, Artemy. You gonna bite me? Nope. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. Vosh just lost 1.5k viewers during that. No, I didn't. I lost 1.5k viewers since the peak of the stream. I actually lost 200, which is fair. He is so goddamn fat. Okay. Dope. Looks like the student loan cancellation was ruled unconstitutional by a Texas federal judge. Would that just be for the state of Texas? No, wait. No, wait. No, I'm sorry. I'm retarded. I'm sorry. Don't answer that. Don't stop. You said federal judge right there. Don't. Okay. Sorry. Sorry. I still thinking of Artemy. Did they really cancel it? We'll see how it plays out. Okay, hold on. Let's in Tomboy Canoe as payment for bringing you Artemy. I can't believe that my stream is just a advertisement vessel for your thirst traps now, Canoe. I'm sure I can speak for everyone who's ever seen you physically and saying that, you look fine. Oh, this was posted like 2 seconds ago. She's breaking my balls here. Canoe cute. Canoe gay. All the time with the goddamn outfits. Prancing around. Swear to God. Nothing I love more than ending a stream and going downstairs in a t-shirt and underwear to get a fucking bagel. And Canoe's put in a little fucking goth skirt. Some shit. High effort. Okay. Oh, Panthera. Nice, Black Poppy. All right, hold your horses. German KFC did a funny. What? KFC has apologized for a push notification sent out via its app inviting German customers to celebrate the anniversary of the Nazi Kristallnacht pogrom against Jews by ordering fried chicken and cheese. See, what you guys don't understand is that in the Jewish community, this is actually a tradition. They're like, oh yeah, it's like time for fried chicken and cheese. It's a thing. You guys didn't know. It sent the message to its customers on Wednesday, the 84th anniversary of the Night of Broken Glass. I'm Jewish, it's not. Era 404 shh. In which Nazis led gangs in the torching, vandalizing, ransacking of Jewish shops, businesses, and synagogues. KFC reached out to its customers with the message, commemorate Kristallnacht. Treat yourself to more soft cheese and crispy chicken. How? This is insane. About an hour later, it sent out another message apologizing for the first and blaming it on a fault in our system. Okay, the only explanation that I could think of is that there was some kind of system to check for holidays, and holidays might have included anniversaries. But that's insane that there's no second check on that. And even then, like, why do you need a system when somebody can just fucking tweet it out, you know? I don't think this is a system error. I think someone did this. I don't fucking know. They got hacked and are framing it as a system. I don't know. I don't know. Who knows? Russell Brand and Jordan Peterson
Should be able to
gender.
do
No,
whatever.
we've haven't we looked at this? Wait, haven't we seen Russell Brand, Jordan Peterson? Also, I can't handle both of them at once. They're both pseudo-intellectuals who will spend long periods saying absolutely nothing and then like vaguely gesture at something anti-Semitic. Didn't I see this? Don't you do the same thing, Vosh? No. I say stuff that's anti-white. You watched Kyle react to it? Okay, yeah. I don't want to fucking... Don't hurt me like this. Hold on. Yeah, this was what I was looking at when I was talking to IRI. More than 40% in U.S. do not believe Biden legitimately won election. This is from the beginning of 2022. More than 40% of Americans still do not believe that Joe Biden legitimately won. Like, you guys realize, like, nearly half the country thinks that this is currently a stolen presidency. I mean, this is, like, the whole Biden stole the election narrative is literally like the World War One like Treaty of Versailles thing for the Nazis. It's the same like originating myth of national humiliation that they point to as an example of like the powers that be cucking out the country. Yeah, the stab in the back myth, exactly. Dolchstoß Gelgende? Yes, the stab in the back myth was an anti-Semitic conspiracy theory widely believed and promulgated in Germany after 1918. It maintained that the Imperial German Army did not lose World War I on the battlefield, but was instead betrayed by certain citizens on the home front, especially Jews, socialists, politicians. Advocates of the myth denounced the German government leaders who had signed the Armistice of November 11th as the November criminals. When Adolf Hitler and the Nazi Party rose to power in 1933, they made the conspiracy theory an integral part of their official history of the 20s, portraying the Weimar Republic as the work of the November criminals who had stabbed the nation in the back. You guys realize this is directly analogous, right? Where Republicans believe that the rhinos and the deep state collaborated to stab Trump in the back, that he actually won the election and they covered it up and stopped Jan 6 from returning Trump to power as he rightly deserved. And they have now made it an official part of their, like, 2020 election mythos. Like, the Republican Party is fully committed to that narrative. Erzberger, the minister who had signed the armistice, was killed in 1921 by a far-right assassin. Nice. Yes, yes, we're on the eve of Armistice Day. That's true. Ukrainian defender is tactical cat. Ooh. Ooh. Little baby. I saw that Puma MOBA. Yes, I saw this. This was quite funny. Russian TV host Andrei Norkin's realization that his country lacks freedom of speech. If I back the decision to withdraw from Kherson, I'm going to jail for questioning Russia's territorial integrity, and if I oppose it, I'm going to jail for discrediting the armed forces.
Значит, если вы ждете, что я сейчас вам объясню свое отношение к этому, то я вам ничего не скажу. Но объясню почему. Если я поддерживаю это решение и говорю, что Министерство обороны поступает правильно, оставляя Херсон, то получается, что это публичные призывы к нарушению территориальной целостности Российской Федерации. В нашем Уголовном кодексе это статья 280, часть 1. Я специально сегодня утром проверял. Несколько лет лишения свободы. Если я не поддерживаю это решение, я считаю, что Министерство обороны поступило неправильно, оставляя Херсон, это публичные действия, направленные на дискредитацию вооруженных сил. Та же самая 280 статья, только часть 3. Срок лишения свободы приблизительно такой же. Я в тюрьму не хочу. Поэтому сейчас мы посмотрим сюжет, а потом мы предоставим слово нашим уважаемым экспертам.
Well, that's fucking wacky. That's goofy. Is it legal for him to say that? I mean, obviously he's sort of ribbing the government here, you know. That takes balls, assuming that they're not doing so disingenuously. We need to look at a thing. What? Going forward, accounts engaged in parody must include parody on their name, not just in bio. Fucking 1984. God, the Twitter shit is so funny, dude. Oregon Measure 111 election results enshrine the right to health care in the state constitution. Yeah, M4A, baby. Not really M4A. But yeah, hold on. You know, California has been trying to get this passed for a while, like a California M4A. Let's see. Yeah, M for O, exactly. Oregon Measure 111, which is easier than saying 111. Barely won, by the way. Let's see. Health Measure 111 would add a section to the Oregon Constitution establishing a right to cost-effective, clinically appropriate, and affordable health care for every Oregon resident. The amendment would require the state to balance the obligation of ensuring a right to health care against funding public schools and other essential services. Okay, so is this saying it'll be a government-provided option to all for insurance, or a public option? I think this is a public option, right? Yeah, it's a public option. That's good. That's really good. A public option is a hell of a lot better than what we have right now. Oregon already has a public option, though. Oregon has a public option that's open if you're poor, right? There are hoops that you have to jump through to benefit from Medicare or Medicaid. Speaking of World War I, were there any bad guys during or just winners and losers? I don't know that much about World War I, but I think it's it, I don't know if there were any winners necessarily. I don't think anyone was acting nobly. Um I think some groups were definitely worse than others. Yeah, I don't know much. It's complicated. It's just not there's not much of like a moral narrative there. I saw that Sammy RG. Here, I wanted to check my good friend Charlie Kirk. He's still live? How long have you been live?
House.
Charlie! I saw you were live a long time ago. 3 hours. He's been live for longer than that, I think. Charlie.
I'm sorry, the Senate Majority Leader.
No, he was the House Majority Leader too.
Live here, Charlie Kirk Show, Jack Posobiec, Tyler Boyer, and State Rep-elect.
Wait, Charlie Kirk's not here. Charlie! Charlie, where are you at? Charlie? Charlie.
He has top of another 10, 20,000.
There's Charlie. There he is. Wait, we gotta see when he comes in.
Happen.
Different. They don't all through the roof. Act here from one. Okay.
Is
to me
doesn't match or they.
It is.
Well, you like Lake 6,000 Delta.
He's wearing the all-white clothing. I
Remember,
him.
stayed in your house.
You will when you step out. Let's go. Let's go. How many times?
Who gave the legal order?
Incredible.
We have a question.
And perfectly allowed to be. I'm gonna. We'll be.
Charlie.
We're gonna do a little round robin.
Yeah, so they're essentially just getting very serious about. I mean, look, they're so nervous.
And then Charlie, I've got to get. Have you seen Charlie? Have you had a chance to see this video yet?
They're so nervous. Thing, no. They're just trying to avoid protests outside, and I get it. But like, look, I mean, every citizen, to my knowledge, has the right to be out on the street and on the sidewalk, and certainly outside a government facility. It is very bizarre to put up like basically chain link fences and put like, I don't know if it's on there, but put the what do they call it? The spikes across the top of it. The
barbed wire.
Barbed wire across the top of it.
Razor wire, yeah.
Yeah, there's no reason why we need razor wire, I think.
Razor wire
in front of no, I don't know if there is, but I'm just like I'm trying to
What?
as I'm reimagining this place in front of my head.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that.
He's constructing the scene as a 3D object in his mind. And making art. I see. I'm imagining it. I'm sorry. I'm just jumping in here. I'm jumping into the deep end of the pool.
I just don't think it's necessary. And trust me, the sheriff's department is way big enough in Maricopa County to handle any crowds that form outside of a tabulation center. In this case, it just doesn't set the right.
Wait, you want to have a line of cops guarding the tabulation center rather than just having a fence there? You want to spend more money and increase the likelihood of danger by having a line of cops rather than just putting up a fence? All right.
Right precedent, I think, for America as a whole, but certainly for our state.
I'm looking on Twitter right now. There's like look,
to treat it like a prison facility.
Look, how many people? There's like a dozen
drive trucks in and out
right now.
And so this is basically what's happening now, guys.
Gitmo, right, Jack?
This is what's happening now.
There is actually. That's true. I wish there more than I wish. I used to have to
show
cart those guys around to get
Jack. So trucks are going in there now, and so this is what's driving everyone crazy, and this is where the conspiracies start up. Is that now they have barbed wire fences or whatever they've got around it, and every time a truck goes in, there's someone sees it and they go, "Fraud, China," like whatever, and that may not be the case, but like they're kind of setting the theme for it, right? Like with how they're like, and nobody's allowed in there other than like this very specific observers. So look, I understand how people are feeling. They're on edges. Every day that goes by, people get more, they question more of the results and how they do business down there. And now when people are realizing now, like you have thousands of people realizing that they run it like basically Guantanamo Bay, you know, like that.
Okay. What on earth are we talking about right now? What? At these tabulation houses, it's just a building where they count votes. You can't just barge in there. It's not a public office. Trucks go in because trucks bring votes to be counted from from polling stations. Has like Gitmo? I'm sure. What? Hold on. We're at like 148. What are they? I'm looking at the shit down here. What is even happening? There's just a fence there? What is happening? What are they complaining about? I'm looking right now on YouTube, like Maricopa County polling protest. Is there any filters today? Streamed one day. I'm trying to, anything?
His largest county dropped more.
And them understand
Of the
between 5 and 8 people.
Is this all just like a 3D object being rotated in the mind? Maybe.
That makes people uncomfortable.
Actually, no, because we were not allowed to arrest the journalists at Guantanamo when I was there. And unfortunately, from the Miami Herald, Carol Rosenberg, when she came in, whoever else wanted to come in, we had to wine and dine them. We had to give them full access to the camps, full access to the detention facilities. International Committee of the Red Cross is there every day, full and total access. And then they would go and print up whatever rumor was running around the galley. They're like, oh, dude, I heard one of the...
Thank you, Annie. Here we go. Outside the Maricopa County Tabulation Center where ballots are being processed, horses and protests here. About 6 protesters last... What? Oh, this is from the 8th. It might not be what's happening right now. Also horse. Multiple horses. I don't know. I have no idea.
Detainees was reading 50 Shades of Grey. They said, oh, a source reported to me. And it's like some kid sitting at, eating chow at the DFAC talking about, I heard something.
I couldn't find that.
None of it was ever true. Or there was that story of like, of course, everyone knows the Quran in the toilet story, which is completely false. And yet they reported as if it was completely true. Charlie, I know you said you haven't...
Here we go. From some MAGA account. 2 hours ago, Maricopa County armed sheriffs to secure the perimeter fences and add barricades to the tabulation center. They also forbid pics of any kind to be taken. What? You can take pictures from outside the barricade. This in preparation for alleged voter fraud accusations / protests. GWP, 17K box 3 ballots remain. I wonder how large the crowd is outside. If I look up like media Maricopa on Twitter, media, can I get like... God damn. That is some highly inconsequential shit.
A chance to actually see the video yet.
Yes,
but
let's replay it. Let's play the clip.
Show me stuff.
I don't know how long is it?
It's like 6 minutes.
Oh, that's a little long. That's too long.
But he's being carted out. Ben Berkwam.
Yeah, I mean, look,
the nicest guy.
We should clip like the last 90 seconds.
If you're
of it.
trying to create dissension, and if you're trying to create the appearance that something sketchy is going on, I mean, just drive reporters from your property. I mean, that's exactly what you do.
That's right.
I mean, if it doesn't exactly encourage transparency, what do they say? Because they said he was an election disinformation peddler or something.
Right.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Guys, you can't have photos or videos being taken of ballots being counted. They have people's names on them. An anonymous vote is one of the cornerstones of a democracy. You can't have people taking fucking pictures of ballots. They will have names next to them. They'll say who voted for who. There's a reason those are protected.
Jeez.
Well, and Jack already
Well,
covered
they don't
the fact
say
that,
but
they were
people
calling
were
us
thinking that
disinformation
maybe.
people.
Yeah.
Oh, is that right?
By
of course they did.
tweeting out that ballots were misprinted.
Oh, NPR. NPR is going after both of you guys right now.
Oh, they are?
Yeah.
Who?
My taxpayer dollars boomeranging.
NPR.
Wait, NPR is going after me?
They wrote up that report from the Election Integrity Partnership. So the Election Integrity Partnership put out that report that Tyler Boyer was spreading online misinformation about the ballots, and then they said, and Charlie Kirk amplified him,
It wasn't missing. It was literally my own ballot.
Right.
It was literally my own ballot. I tweeted,
right, and
my
Charlie
ballot got misprinted.
But see, this is what
Charlie
they call the
Brown.
wrap.
You
This is the-
misinformation artist.
This is the wrap-up smear. Remember, this is the wrap-up
Yeah.
smear. Just like Nancy Pelosi taught us, the wrap-up smear is you make the accusation, then you get the media to report your accusation,
Yes.
and then you ask them about the accusation.
So let me.
Zelensky stuff.
Is it
man.
okay if I catch myself up to date while I catch the audience up to date with
Please.
what's going on with tallies? Is that
Break it
okay?
down, man.
'Cause
Yeah.
I was just at an event with some of our top Turning Point supporters. They're doing great, and they're enthused about what Action and PAC have done, and asking a lot of questions and
Good.
about a lot of different things. Great folks there. So
What
let
I
me.
like to hear.
So it seems that there have been a lot of PEMA drops. Am I understanding this correctly?
PEMA.
These were early votes. Is that right?
Yeah, there's like no one wants to count what actually happened on election day yet. They just want to keep. You would think like we would just be able to move into election day ballots, but the state of Arizona
But
does not.
let me
want to
ask
do
you
that.
though, why is it though that it's not just Maricopa that has this problem then?
Well,
Because part of your argument is that it's the size. Maricopa's too big, but
Well, Pima's big too, so that's the thing. Tucson's big. Tucson's a
but I
big
mean,
city.
even Yuma doesn't have all their votes in, or Mojave doesn't have all their votes in, or
no, those guys can get it together.
okay.
Yeah, the smaller counties.
Quick reminder, one of the guys in this panel, Posobiec, is just a neo-Nazi. Yes, Posobiec is a neo-Nazi. It's 1488 posting. The ADL National would be wise to remember what happened the last time people made lists of others out. He's literally like tweeting at like Jewish orgs being like, hey, remember the Holocaust? Like, yeah. Jesus Christ, he looks so young here.
Know how to count votes.
Yeah. So you
One
have
of Charlie Kirk's friends was arrested for possession of CP. Oh, this is from a while back. Yeah, Trump commerce officer arrested in November. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, from 2021.
a pie.
It's the big counties that can't handle county votes.
Yes. So Yavapai just dropped 7,486 ballots. That's a really good sign, right? And
All right, this is boring. Move on.
so basically from Central Mesa and Central Chandler East, they're already winning. They're already
At Better Discourse, Posobiec was speaking with a weird Russian accent on and off, as though it would win him favor with the crowd. That's so fucking weird. What? What? Because like Alliance, the fascists in the Kremlin. What? That's so weird. That's such a weird guy thing to do. Okay.
winning the Paradise Valley.
That are in there, they're either not voting.
Like several hours ago, they could have changed it between
No,
now and
60 something ballots.
60.
60,
Maybe
that's it.
I don't know.
Yeah,
This is the difference between me and a serious political commentator like Charlie Kirk, okay? I do not have the patience to stare at a number slowly tick up.
Or his own disciple.
Yes.
And that just, people don't like the way that looks. They
No.
don't like the way that looks at all.
Dude, my
And
entire
say
inbox,
this,
I can
say
read
this as a pro-Trump guy.
I can read the waterfall of people saying, OMG, please tell Trump to stop bad-mouthing DeSantis.
There we go.
It's dividing our movement and it makes him look petty. Clap, clap, clap emoji.
As opposed to Trump's entire life before that point, which did not make Trump look petty. You know.
It's exactly what demo rats want. Crying emoji. Trump 2024. This is your supporter right
But
here.
Do you know what it is? It's like the parent that competes against their kid in high school.
You know, it's like Friday Night Lights. Remember?
Yeah.
Remember when what's his face's dad is there and he like
Oh,
Tim
no, that's
Riggins.
exactly
Tim
right.
Riggins,
yeah, that's
He's
exactly
like, hold
right.
on. Why can't you hold on to the
No,
football?
Tim
Why can't you, why can't you hold on to the football?
He's like, and he makes him hold on. He like slaps them, and he's
He,
like,
he runs onto the field too.
Yes.
Yes, that's exactly right.
"We're gonna get you, but I'm gonna make sure
He
you
takes
hold
the
that
football
ball.
and he wraps it in duct
You know,
tape.
embarrass me. You want to get one of these rings?" And he throws his ring out of the car.
He's like, you're nothing yet.
He's like, "You're nothing."
Remember what I said? I said it. I'll say it again, okay? All of the political commentators, the Republican pundits right now, are making it their job to move their audiences over from Trump to DeSantis. You know? Now keep in mind, the very much like with us, only a small minority of Republicans are dedicated enough to go on YouTube and watch like Charlie Kirk live stream vote breakdown. This very much in the same way that the vast majority of liberals are just like very passive liberal, like they just like, oh, they have a gay friend, they saw MSNBC once and they liked Obama and like whatever. Like they they're not out here watching like online like breakdowns and all this analysis there, you know. So I think that the Republican pundits are going to have their work cut out for them, moving over a significant enough portion of the Republican electorate that they aren't that Trump doesn't, you know, skew the party. We'll have to see. Because Donald Trump will never endorse somebody that he loses to. Ever. Can you guys even imagine that? Donald Trump losing to DeSantis in the primary and then endorsing DeSantis? He would treat his loss as like a giant betrayal. Before I came to power, the GOP was weak and full of losers and rhinos. And now they've stabbed me in the back. I think he's going to get 2 stab in the back narratives, yeah.
That's like Trump. That's like Trump. He's like Ron. He's like throwing his high school championship ring out the window. Ron de Sanctimonious.
Someone just said this,
dare you.
Tyler. This is the impact that this live stream has. This is my favorite email of the whole evening. You ready for this? It's great.
I'm ready.
He says, "Love the show, guys. I own and operate a golf retail store near Atlanta. I'm about to remove all my ping."
Oh God, that's like absolutely Charlie Kirk viewer determinativism right there. Golf retail store owner. That's like this, the most. Oh my God.
Product to the back of the store, courtesy of Bill Gates. Keep up the good work.
I cannot.
And there's definitely a Bill Gates who is your customer who's going to walk in one day and be like, "Hey, where's the paint products?"
And what's
well,
your
guess
name?
what?
I cannot accentuate this enough. If you own anything that's ping related, email Ping tomorrow and tell them I refuse to golf with Ping until you get rid of Bill Gates. And I'm telling you right now.
I don't even know what they're talking about. It's just not funny. What are they talking about? Sorry. I'm queer. The only jokes that I think are funny are through sex jokes. What is this boomer shit? What?
I'm just kidding. I'm kind of just kidding. But I'm not really just kidding. Don't use Ping products. Like
No, just say you have a onesie twosie. Just say
yeah,
that.
say until you guys don't have any more onesie twosies, then I'm not using Ping. And I don't blame you. There's a lot of other great golf companies that we know here in Arizona. It's like Ping sucks.
That's crazy.
they employ a crazy person.
Poor Bill Gates.
No,
poor Bill Gates out there.
Wait, which Bill Gates?
Just the random dude who's trying to live his life in Indiana.
Someone did email us. They said my cousin is named Bill Gates.
That sucks.
The random guy who's just who just works at the grain belt in Indiana.
Yeah.
Maricopa incoming. Battle stations ready.
Okay.
So let's talk about what's the worst case scenario.
The worst
here.
case scenario is a sub 50 drop. That's the worst case.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's
Right?
not going to be.
Holy shit, they're boring. Sorry. I did the best I could. I did the best I could. I did. They're anxiety laughing? Oh, they're absolutely anxiety laughing, yeah. Oh my God. All right, well, close that. Maybe quota. Golf. Yeah. What is this thing? Hold on. What is this thing? This is odds on the remaining seats. Yeah, I saw Gimli. So Arizona really does look like it's going to go for Mark Kelly, hopefully. And Georgia is, of course, going to a runoff. Oh, Alaska's closer than I thought. Oh, wait, it's close between 2 Republicans. Never mind, Lamau. And Nevada's also closer than I thought, but still probably going to go red. That'd be a funny meme, though. AZ, we won't know for a while. Yeah. Is Lauren Boebert going to lose? Things have been going well for her recently. Yeah, it's gonna be real close. We'll have to see. It'll probably be a recount, yeah. So we'll get 4850 basically. It's either going to be 4850 or possibly even some people are saying 4949 in our favor because 2 independents go to us. So 5149 effectively. Yo, does chat not care student loan forgiveness just got blocked by a Texas judge? Gimli. You're about to learn, Gimli. Oh, you're about to learn. Gimli, wheretofore is the humility that you learned after befriending an elf, Gimli? Now, if we open up your logs, and let's see, your IP address, here we go. So, this is the first time you've chatted today. And I've been live for 3 hours. Do you think it's possible that we might have talked about it already? Gimli. And it's not actually that chat doesn't care about the student loan forgiveness. The world's a big place, Gimli. This live stream did not manifest into existence now just because you only opened it up now. Brownie face? All right, okay, I'm done publicly shaming. I love you. I'm just giving you shit. No bully. No bully. Wild how much I hate looking at electoral maps when this exists. Yeah, it's the old, like, can land vote thing. The, electoral map, I mean, it's just a product of how maps function, that it would always, like, kind of skew towards rural. But yes, if we take a look at the dot map, you know, then we're kicking it. Let me finish up these donations. Sorting algorithms, thank you for the gifted tier 1 sub. Not Lyle Stevic. Lyle Stevic? Thank you for the $5. My friend told me you were a libertarian debate streamer, but you don't really seem libertarian. I don't mind. I'm a libertarian socialist. Your friend might have been pulling your leg a bit there, but they weren't technically wrong. Patrick H. with the $20. Thank you very much. Hey Vosh, I'm a gun-owning rural leftist, but I'm also a history nerd and a current events junkie. I appreciate the base geopolitical takes. Have you covered the recent apparent Russian retreat from the city of Kherson? Yes, but only a little bit. I was really, really, really tired the other day because I woke up drunk after 2 hours of sleep and stumbled my way into stream. I plan on covering in a bit more detail soon. Thank you for the very kind dono. V White and Annie, thanks the tier 1 sub. Oh, Annie just gifted Gimli a tier 1 sub. Reconciliation. Vontux, thank you for the very kind $10. That's true. David Henry with the 2 Canadian. How'd you think of the cats' names? Artemy and Pigeon are both references to characters in Pathologic. Trans Femcell from PA, thank you for the $5. When will you debate Lonerbox about the trans genocide? I won't be, and I haven't seen that debate of his. I know a lot of people were upset over it, but I just haven't seen it. Pero Luchadora, thank you for the incredibly kind $50. I really appreciate that. Did you hear about that lunatic in Ohio, Ogozaimas, who shot his neighbor because he thought he was a Democrat? Anywho, thank you for the entertaining content. Yes! Yes, we went over that when I was sloshed, I think, or maybe tired yesterday. We went over that, yes. I don't know if it's been made into a video, but we did. Old Man Shay, thanks for the $5. I'll have to take a look at it sometime later. Done the Mido with the $5. Sorry for the spam, Vosh. Do you think it's actually viable for the willing to defend ourselves? To defend ourselves and our neighborhoods from the happening? If significant political instability comes about, to the point that, like, far-right militias are just invading cities and shooting people, I think that having guns to exercise your right to self-defense against those terrorists would give you far better odds than not having them. As for like what the actual like raw percentages are of any given outcome, I couldn't even begin to guess. Cities are very difficult to occupy, though. Sake Tanuki, thank you for the 2 gifted tier 1 subs. Bosch has back pain because he's a booba streamer who still doesn't wear v-necks. True. It's actually my massive fat cock and balls that give me back pain. It's just my gigantic cum-filled sloshing orbs. It's just my enormous meat tube, really, that gives me back pain. Liberium, thank you for the $5. I'll give it a look. John, thank you for the incredibly kind $20. I really appreciate those. I never give anything I couldn't afford, but good message. Folks, donate to orgs that do good work, and if you can't donate, get your ass out there and canvass, do a local election work, be good. Yes, we should all try our best. So noted, Merrick. Cleaning litter boxes is a pain in the ass. I don't fault you. Charlotte96 and Seth Wade, thank you for the $5 both. Why Michigan be so red? White flight? Of incoming freshman congressional lefties, who's the most promising to move the Overton window for the working class other than Fetterman? I don't know. The Maxwell guy? He's young? That could be fun. It's hard to say, you know? Really comes down to media coverage more than anything. Othro Marksy with the $5. Thanks for pulling the suburban white boy out of being a fascist. My pleasure. Thank you. And Sake with the 4 gifted tier 2 subs. Thank you so much. Why does Charlie Cook always look like a 5'5" man in a 6'4" man suit? Yeah, you guys make fun of him, but I've actually met the man in person and shook his hands. He's fucking tall. He's taller than I am, you know? It's quite off-putting. With his facial proportions, it is very much like you're about to battle some kind of like hormonally amped up like 16-year-old boy who's about to crush you. You know what I mean? Like he took some kind of like Space Jam's evil minion formula that made him like, you know, turn into like Shaq proportions, and he's about to dunk you. Quite frightening. You know, these remaining donations are from the past 2 streams. I wasn't able to get to all of them yesterday because I was so damn tired. I'm going to make an effort now. I will run through these quickly, though. Again, these are older. Yaina, thank you for the $50. I really appreciate that. Frugality, Janky Leftist, and Endless Exhaustion, thank you all for the $10. I really appreciate those. Kearney, Crusher, Nova Bunny, Pointy Ball, and Bismarck CSU. Thank you for the $5. It's very kind of you. Derpsternium, thank you for the $50. Bosch, if Harper v. Moore goes Republicans' way, wouldn't the independent state legislator doctrine apply to blue states as well? Yeah, it would, but there are more red legislator states than blue legislator states. So it would still land to their favor. Lad from Phoenix DSA, thank you for the $20. Can you shout out my boy Aram? Aram! Nice job organizing canvassers. We love you. Keep it up. Someone Somewhere, What in the Timbre, and Josh Olguin. Thank you for the $10 all. I really appreciate those. It's very kind of you. Dan Culver, Polito94, Colin Costco. Thank you for the $10 all. Mandoy XL. Mandoy. Don't know what the relationship is there. Duke Worcestershire. Worcestershire. Peko and the Bread Boy. Thank you for the $5 all. We're almost done. That last one didn't update. Mr. Win, Skull O Madness. Wes, thank you for the $2 all. Connor Pathos, Bat Canary, Hillsmira, Kelfex, thank you for the tier 1 subs all. I really appreciate those. Krosgo, thank you for the $20. I really appreciate that. Duke Worcestershire, thank you for the $10. Kakao Win, thank you for the 3 donations of eccentric amounts. Saki with the 2 gifted tier 1 subs. Nunya, I did thank them live with a $500 dono. I love you. Imperial General, thank you for the incredibly kind tier 4 sub. I have not learned how to pronounce that. Sake with the 2 gifted tier 1 subs, thank you. And Dashi Queen with the $5. When will I be starting my rap career? Right now. after I end stream. I love you guys. You know that? I'll be here tomorrow. You're beautiful people. You know that? Beautiful, beautiful people. Look, can we dispel with the memes for a moment and say something serious? We take it seriously, okay? All right? I want to make it clear, okay? One of the biggest weaknesses of fascist governments is principled irrationality. We see it right now with Russia, how Russia suffers military loss after military loss, and Ukraine experiences victory after victory. Things are going poorly for Russia, and Putin keeps making objectively bad decisions because his governance necessitates a kind of ass-kissing, a rejection of empirical analysis, and that's playing out for them really poorly, you know? I want you all to understand that one of the reasons that I'm so insistent on reminding everyone how precarious our position is, it is precisely because I don't want us to fall into that same trap. Liberals are not inherently irrational the way fascists are, but they do have strong biases. One of them in recent decades has, of course, been towards the idea that history has ended. I don't think this is deliberate, principled irrationality, but it is nonetheless systemically enforced irrationality. And I do really want to avoid falling into these pitfalls. That is all I am saying. Even if the best case scenario plays out and none of this ends up happening and nobody has to move or flee or no genocidal violence or blah, blah, I will never regret being one of the few voices willing to be upfront and honest and direct about the possibilities that might play out, the really bad ones. I even if the best, it's preparedness, right? No one felt a fool for keeping a spare in their car because they didn't get into an accident each day. It's not the point. So just keep that in mind. Love you all very much. Let's decide who. I suppose I should host IRI, right? That seems like the rational thing to do in this case. Yeah, I'll host IRI. There you go. So be nice, IRI is a liberal, but he's one of the good ones, all right? One of the cool ones. You all take care, and I'll see you tomorrow, all right? Take care of yourselves.